What is up, everybody? My name is James D. Fiore, and this is Casual Friday. You know, it's so casual today that I'm the only one here right now. But that's okay. It's been a crazy week. A little bit of a review because sometimes it can be really frustrating being a podcaster who does a live show. I have a knack of having tech issues when it's a really important guest. I don't remember who the guest was like a year ago when I was sort of just starting out, and it was a pretty big guest, and the audio for that other person was so bad, and it just like I was like drenched with cold sweats. Earlier this week I had the DOC on. The DOC is the co-founder of Death Row Records with Suge Knight and with Dr. Dre. And he got in a bad accident when he put out, in 1989, he put out his debut solo album, which sold, I think, something like 5 million copies. And here it is right here. No One Can Do It Better. And he was about to blow, like he was going to be one of those dudes that could have been on like the Mount Rushmore of hip hop. By the way, it's so casual today that I drowned. So you might see dirty dishes, but that's okay. It's Casual Friday. And the idea behind, or sorry, the way that his career kind of got thrown off kilter was he got in a car accident, and it wasn't even the accident that made his that kind of ruptured his vocal cords. It was when they put in the feeding tube. They had to move stuff aside to get that in so that he'd live. And that's what messed up his vocal cords. So, but anyways, his audio was pretty bad. It's so funny. Like rappers, you got to pull it together a little bit. It's always the rappers. Yeah, so you can't use a phone or a tablet, and don't use Safari. Other than that, you're good. So DOC shows up walking around with an iPhone on Safari. And it was probably the best result that I've had with a person using all the tech that he shouldn't use. There's kind of a neat satisfaction that you get for interviewing someone that you remember writing their name on your notebook when you're a kid. And I remember vividly writing the DOC in grade 8 on my notebook, along with like 100 other rap groups that I knew at the time that I was listening to. And it's weird. It's weird to interview them and talking to them before the show, and then hitting them up with texts and stuff after the show. It was just like, yeah, it was a good time. Who else did we have? We had Emma Pruden on last night talking about kink and polyamorous relationships, which I think scare the hell out of me. Like, I don't think I'd be able to do that. She was great though. She has a good way of communicating. I was happy that the show didn't sort of degrade. I guess I have myself to thank for not being an idiot for once, but I didn't want the show to degrade into jokes. And I wanted to actually have a serious conversation, and I think we did for about an hour. And also, I made an announcement yesterday that the Simpsons producer, Michael Price, who's been with The Simpsons since like 1992, I believe. He's like written like 250 episodes or something like that. He is coming on the show. I was a month off. Okay. He's coming on March 13th, not February 13th. So I fucked that up. So for those who want to see Michael Price, you'll get to see him, just not for a month. And yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately about maybe not doing this or trying to do this daily. It 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 burns me out. And it's not doing the show. This is easy. Although it's easier when you have a co-host. Ryan Lindley couldn't be here because he's got a hot water crisis at home or something. And Spenny's going to be here any second. But it is a little tiring to it's the booking of the guests. I can't even stress how crazy it is. It's no wonder that people that have TV shows don't do any of that shit. They just like wait, they go on, they do their thing, and then they leave. And that's pretty much it for them. They might do a couple of oh, I got a text. Hold on. I have a text, everybody. Is it important? Is it important? What do you think? No. Apparently, I just was asked to run for mayor. That was that text. I'm not going to run for mayor. I did that once. I got like 800 votes. But in my defense, I told everyone not to vote. I said that the only reason I was voting was to encourage young people to vote. It was the same election that Rob Ford won. And yeah, so 800 people didn't listen to a word I said. That just goes to show you that you could literally be anybody. And run a campaign from your laptop in your kitchen and tell people, don't vote for me. And 800 people will still somehow vote for you. Someone just told me to eat balls. I'm not eating balls. Here's the links. If anyone wants to come in, you're more than welcome to. I want to show pictures because this is my favorite one. There's a girl I call Shrooms Girl, and whenever I am on mushrooms and I am going through Facebook and I see her, she glows like no other thing glows when I'm on shrooms. And she's gorgeous. But the reason why I want to have her on is not because she's gorgeous. It's because she's gorgeous, and she is like one of the most marvelous painters I have ever seen in my entire life. I'm going to grab a photo now that I'm doing this because I think it's worth pointing out that I'm not just like trying to, hit on some girl that I've never actually met before. We talk now though. Like, I'm we have a rapport now, I believe. And but her paintings are just exquisite. And I can't seem to find it. And now my Facebook just shut down. This is the worst. Casual Friday, you're getting a little too casual. Oh, there's one. Hold on. I got it. Okay, so this is one of her paintings. And I don't know. It's weird. To me, it's always I know it sounds stupid, but it's always kind of a juxtaposition to have a person who's like ridiculously gorgeous, but also like a super good artist. Like this isn't like, dollar store shit. Like she's awesome. And this is like not even like even close to being one of her best. But I don't know. It's weird. And she's got all those tattoos and shit. I don't know. She's just like really creative. Anyway, she's also notoriously shy, despite the fact that she has a bunch of photos like that. But she's shy about talking. So that's one of those things that it's like, now it's a challenge. So I told her I was going to challenge her to come on. I got her permission to use her pictures and everything like that. And she said, no problem. So we'll see if Shrooms Girl comes. I gave her a link for tonight too, but I don't think she's going to use it. And look who it is. Oh my goodness.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. I'm echoing.
Sorry.
I'm echoing.
Oh, one sec.
I didn't put my background up. I'm still echoing. I'm not allowed to talk yet. Even though I can hear my echo. Okay, there we go.
That's better. Sorry.
I text Ryan Lindley at I don't know what time it was, like 3:00, and I'm like, "Good night."
5.
And you're like, no, but you're like, yeah. What do you got going on? And I'm like, I think Spenny's coming or whatever it was. And then like 2 hours later, he's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna take a knee."
Well, it was for a good reason, and I averted a flood in my basement, but we're still kind of iffy on the hot water at this point, and I'm not a plumber, so I think I should probably give up while I'm still ahead.
Everything is a Sopranos episode.
Tackle it tomorrow. I know that's what was going through my head too. As I was taking this, it's that stupid temperature regulator valve thing is all fucked up. So I was like, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, Mr. Ruggiero's neighborhood. Why don't I have a Mr. Ruggiero?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we have a Mr. Spenny. Hey, Spenny.
Oh,
Hey!
Oh my
Spenny.
God,
That
it's Painter Spenny. You look like a painter.
yeah, I'm wearing a headband.
Or an 80s fitness guru.
Hardly.
Is yeah.
You would have been very proud of me, Ryan. I made a beautiful shrimp fried rice today.
Ooh, I like it.
It was very good.
Very good.
How are you, boys?
We're
Great,
doing
pal.
well.
How are you?
I'm not well. I didn't know I was going to be on, and I am out of booze. But anyways,
That's not a good thing.
Aw.
no, it's not.
You don't have booze like just laying around the house?
I got my wife's got some of those sugary. I think they're called Hayals. Like they're disgusting.
Hey,
I
y'all.
can't. I hate.
Sounds like moonshine.
Yeah, I hate sugary. I hate sugary stuff.
I want to play something because I want to talk to you about something that you posted this, and now I'm wondering if you were like a fan or not. So I'm going to post this clip, and then
Sure.
we'll come back.
Backstage, man. You know,
And I'm not dropping my pants in front of other men, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, how'd you get the job? You know what it is? The thing that there's a lack of respect that comes. You know, wrestling is a great form of entertainment for the family. 30 years. 30 years I've been fighting pro. I started WrestleMania. I started Starrcade. I watched this gentleman here rise to fame. Bobby Heenan's been solid in our business forever. This lady here has brought in my life because we give our lives. The reason I took my bands off, I have a titanium hip for 5 years now. My rotator cuff is broken, etc., etc. We got guys that go out there and they pour their hearts out. Promoters take advantage of them, and A&E does something. Wrestling's phony. And if some wrestler goes on there and says they do this and that, but you never see that wrestler on top wrestling main event anywhere, all he's doing is prostituting himself on camera and telling a bunch of secrets that are all lies. And when we walk in, we're not appreciated for the athletes and the honest people that we really are.
I'm going to play the whole thing because it just kind of degrades a little bit when they start like bickering. But were you a wrestling fan, Spenny?
Yeah. Still am. I mean, I don't really follow the new product, so I watch mostly old matches on YouTube. I could wax poetic about, I used to go to Maple Leaf Gardens, right? When Sunday Night Wrestling, it was amazing because it was the kayfabe days, and I was so young that I thought it was all real. So when I saw the Sheik, the original Sheik, not the Iron Sheik,
Yeah.
Eddie Fairhat, it scared the living bejesus out of me. I did post that today. It's 3 reasons. One is I'm always impressed with Roddy Piper. I think he's amazing, and he's Canadian. Number 2, he kind of owns Bill Maher, and I'm a bit annoyed with Bill Maher lately. And pardon?
Why are you annoyed with Bill Maher?
I think that he's lately I saw a bit he did about this trans thing. He's sort of waging war on the trans, which is, I don't disagree with some of what he said. I just think that it's dangerous because not that his audience is necessarily yahoos, but they might start to become yahoos. He's sort of becoming fashionable in the right-wing circles. And I just think people could get hurt,
That happened during COVID. I think he really kind of took a right turn during COVID at the end there, and then just kept going. But he kept seeing the success that it was bringing him for numbers, and he's just chasing the bucks. I think
that could be true. I know someone who works with him, but the other thing is that
Is it possible that trans activists are just not infallible? Is that possible?
No, I don't. I'm not saying I support everything to do with the trans community.
We're so afraid to talk about trans things. It's so
what
funny.
I'm saying is that violence is happening. There's a lot of anti-Semitism. There's a lot of things going on that are really kind of dangerous and sad. And there's a billion guns in that country, and a lot of people that are crazy. So I don't know. It felt very narcissistic, kind of like easy. Very easy to do, and maybe you're right. Maybe he is going for the buck, Ryan.
It's a snowball. You're right. I totally agree, and it's funny how you find one that, and I hate it, but it's true. You can lump certain extreme sides to one side or the other, and wow, Ukraine's wrong. Trans people and gay people suck. Jews suck. and Trump was right about everything. Like, it's funny how none of them ever interchange. None of them ever like leave one behind. It's always they're always on the bus with all that luggage.
And I feel like I agree with you 100%. And I think Bill Maher, it's a bit generational as well. He's sort of old school. He's older than I am, but I have a very forgiving attitude towards younger generations, just because they're allowed to be who they are and find their own heroes and find their own life and their own values. So I don't know. I just
You don't think it's a symptom? You don't think it's a symptom of polarization, like that we've entered an age now where if we find out a right winger thinks something, it might look sensible on paper, but because the right winger says it, we're just automatically like, well, that's got to be hateful.
No, I don't. Well, it's sort of hateful, I guess. Again, my only concern is because I don't disagree with everything he said in this particular monologue that I saw, or New Rules or whatever segment it was on his show. I really think it's dangerous. That's all.
I agree with you too, though, James. You're right. I think it's like an automatic, almost like a reflex, like a knee jerk, like immediately.
Yeah, like I don't understand why we can't say things like trans women and women are equal. Both groups deserve rights under the law, but they are obviously different. Like, why we have to sit there and pretend in order to not be a bigot? And it's just like, wait a second, but they're obviously different. There's no, like, women and trans women are not in the same category, but they are equul. Why do we have to pretend that they're in the same category?
Look at I don't think, for example, trans athletes should be competing with women, which is it upsets people, right? But I don't go out of my way like Bill Maher with a big smarmy face and a shitload of money in his bank account and throw that in people's faces. And partially because I don't know what the answer is. There's so much lies and dishonesty out there. Like, I don't really know if what's it called? There's kids are getting what's it called? Some kind of transitioning.
The hormone therapy,
puberty blocker. Yeah, the stats are. I looked this up. The stats are small.
Yes,
but there are young girls as young as 13 getting double mastectomies because they say they're trans. Now, the problem that I have with that is just that I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. I'm worried about them when they start learning about gender and stuff, because it is not a proven theory that gender is a spectrum. It's an interesting theory. I think it's neat, but it's not proven. And I don't. And people are kind of acting like it's already done. It's etched in stone. This is clearly 1 + 1 = 2, and no one. And you can't push back even a little bit and ask questions because you're transphobic if you do that. I hate that.
I do too. It's just Bill. He's just very smarmy.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's got great writers.
Yeah.
There's just something about the way he carries himself that bugs me. But
I met him when I lived in Los Angeles. I went to a club. I don't remember the name of the club. And I met him at this sort of sidebar thing, and I talked to him for like 10 minutes. And it was funny because it was like 2009, I guess. And we were talking, and he was talking about Canada and how much he loves it and everything. And I was trying to like tell him, I'm like, you ever go to Toronto? Let me know and I'll hook you up with some good bud or whatever. He's like, oh, I got a guy in Toronto. I'm just like, that's funny. But I went in, he gave me one of those like hand on the shoulder kind of like hug things. And wow, did he ever smell exactly like you'd think he smelled. He just smelled like weed, like his suit was made of like fucking marijuana or something. I was just like, wow, you're like exactly what I thought you'd smell like, Bill. And he's like, thank you.
Here's the thing,
and he's shorter than me, which made me
I don't know the proportion.
That's a tough one.
I don't know what the proportion is of this whole trans thing. I really don't know. I mean, it goes back to, when people used to think that, you could be made gay by being exposed to, gayness. I don't believe that. If parents are pushing young kids into getting, what did you call it? Puberty blockers. Yeah, I mean, that could be a problem. Again, it's the same with COVID. I kind of have faith in the medical community that there's some reasonable oversight over this stuff, especially when it involves children.
You know what I think it is?
Well, there's they block. Sorry, Ryan. I just want to say they block or they try to discredit statistics that deal with desisting, and desisters are people that get the surgery to become and are transgender, become trans women or trans men, and then they like this is oh my god, I don't want to do this. This is not what I want. And those stats are like really higher than the gender activists want us to know, really. And so they, they'll say, oh, those stats are just because of the. But I had a trans activist on my show, Karina Cohn, and she's a trans woman. But she is a trans woman that would be called transphobic if she were me saying the things that she said. She's like, I know that I will always be biologically male. I know I am not the same as other women, and I know I shouldn't play sports. And it was really interesting having her on and then seeing straight white guys trash her. And it's just like,
yeah,
she's a fucking trans woman.
everything's a spectrum. I always say that, right? So there's going to be some extreme people that are like that, and it occurs on all sides, on all issues. Look,
can you imagine being in that situation? Sorry, Ryan, and then I promise I'll shut up. But
No, you
but
won't.
being in the situation where you feel like you're like trapped in the opposite body, obviously that would be like a really harrowing experience, and you would want to do everything you could to try to balance out your life. And so I think that we should at least recognize that obviously trans people exist. That's not what I'm saying when I say these other things. But there's something called rapid onset gender dysphoria, where it's usually autistic girls in the States. They have stats about how if one person comes out as trans, all of a sudden like another like 8 to 10 girls in that grade will come out as trans. And a lot of young people are searching for identities.
Yeah.
And they're not actually trans, but they just sort of cling to that because they saw other people doing it. And then a lot of times they'll like a year will go by or 2 years will go by and they'll be like, oh, I'm not trans. It just turns out I'm
what's
gay.
the autistic element in that story?
The autistic is like 80% of the girls that come out after that first one are on the spectrum or autistic.
I have an autistic daughter, so that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, these aren't easy.
It's tough issues, man.
But at the same time, I think when people speak about it in a way that's political or for show business, I think it can hurt people. I really do. But you know what? And I'm not saying he can't. I'm not a speech denier, but I'm allowed to say what I think about what he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Yeah. Ryan?
No, what I was thinking was we rush a lot to defend things, right? And I think the problem here is that equality thing that you brought up about, like they're not the same, but they're the rights and everything else, the way we treat people should be the same. And we've struggled with this and things that aren't trans. We've struggled with this on race. We've struggled everything, right?
Yes.
And I think the people that think they're doing the right thing put the pedal to the floor, in trying to make it. And I'm not going to say virtue signaling because it does come from a good place. You know what I mean? It comes from a good spot. It comes from good heart to try and do the right thing. It's just a matter of. I don't think a lot of times it's not thought through. Like I think we jump a gun because immediately you're labeled as a transphobe or whatever. Like if you just don't toe that line of the extreme support, there's zero. There is no variable. It is black and white, and this is how it is. That's not how life works, and you can't look at any situation like that. And I just think, and it's true. I get three straight white dudes sitting on a podcast are not going to solve this problem, but we're allowed to have an opinion, and it's just as valid as the person that holds a sign on the corner of a street trying to protect the rights of the people that they're defending. So it's a discussion, and that's all it is. So everybody can calm down when we're having these discussions and take a deep breath, because your opinion is just as valid as mine. That's just how it goes.
I honestly wouldn't care. It wouldn't care. It wouldn't even cross my mind if the world wasn't so kind of violent and triggerish nowadays,
Yeah.
And then I look at, this is something I've admitted, and I've been outed by Kenny on this. When I was a teenager, maybe early teens, 13, 14, something like that, My friends and I used to throw eggs at homosexuals in front of the St. Charles Tavern in Toronto on Yonge Street, which was the gay bar there. And that, it was
Really?
like, we didn't want to hurt anybody, but it was a horrible thing to do. And I've, made my amends, and part of my amends is to be honest about it.
Yeah.
So I
Is that why you do the prostate exam?
know, no.
That is giving back.
That is a PSA for prostate cancer, please. But I knew, since, hey, if I could do something like that, and I'm a pretty, not violent person, although when I drink, sometimes I can get violent, but, then and the way this triggered world is right now, I just worry about any over hate towards homosexuals or any minority, really.
Yeah.
People are going around to synagogues and churches and black churches, and it's just a crazy time to be living. And like I say, I totally agree with what you said, Ryan. We should be allowed to say what we want and not be. But that, to me, is proof of how hysterical people get. You get that kind of hysteria with someone with an automatic weapon, and who knows?
Somebody asking the question about like the entire situation, rather than just, like I say, like that black and white with zero variable, is not the same as somebody calling to cull and kill trans people, and they should be outlawed, and that's not the same person. Like, we're not. That's not.
I know that. I know that. But when Bill Maher, who's has got an audience, albeit an audience that's probably getting more Trumpy.
Yeah.
Than
I agree.
Before.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't see the monologue. I kind of wish I did now, though. But
it was funny, by the way. It was very funny.
I still think that fear that and I don't think it's misplaced, but the fear that you have, or the concern that you have, that society is getting violent, and if Bill Maher says that to the millions of people, then trouble might be caused. That is also a symptom of polarization. It is always about polarization in this world when it comes to these issues, because and it happens every time a new issue. Like in 2020, there were all these protests in the States for racial. For Black Lives Matter, and for cops and violence against black people. And I was like, I'm for the protests, but I'm not for Black Lives Matter as an organization. And that was all it took back then to be called a racist. Yeah. And it's just like,
you got
what
canceled.
is going on? Like they are a political organization with stated Marxist views. I don't support a libertarian organization. Yep. Why would I support this one? I support the protests. I support cops not kicking the shit and killing black people. But I don't support the organization. Well, I mean, and then what happened? And then 2 years later, like most of the people that are on the top of that organization are under investigation because they bought mansions in the hills among the white people that they said they didn't like. Clearly, the organization was flawed, right? But if you said it 3 years ago or 2 years ago, then that was it. You were a racist. And at the time when you're living in that space, I always feel like that is the time to say
Wait a second. Well, I want to know, James, why... Sorry, what were your... this all came out relatively recently about the money and all that at the top of the organization. You initially said something negative about them. What was that? What triggered that?
I'm not a Marxist. I don't know how I can support an organization, a state.
I didn't even know they were
when they say they're Marxist. Yeah, well, a lot of people don't, but yeah, they are. Even if you said that, even if you pointed that out, they're like, dude, what are you doing?
How can you say that? They said it.
Yeah. Right? Like, I know. And it's funny. And it's just interesting to me that the polarization point I was trying to make is that when I get attacked for stuff like that is a symptom of polarization, because any new issue that's out where there's clearly a right side and a wrong side, which there was in that issue. The right side, like that man put his knee on that man's George Floyd's neck for 11 minutes or some shit. Like, we watched the guy get murdered, right? Like we watched it with our own two eyes. There was a right side in that issue, and there was a wrong side in the issue. The wrong side was to say the cop did nothing wrong, and the right side was to say that it was murder. And so polarization permeates in a situation like that, because then you can't, like I was just saying, you can't criticize an organization that happens to be on the right side, because then you're automatically on the wrong side. And same thing happens with Bill Maher, the Bill Maher audience thing. This is why I understand your point, is because polarization also would make Bill Maher saying something like that could trigger someone into doing something awful. Because again, we're polarized to the point where one side both sides in some ways, but certainly the right side a lot more, uses violence and intimidation to sort of speak their minds, and I think it can turn tragic. So I do agree with you on that.
It could. I mean, the reality is, there's going to be like the George Floyd situation. You're right. There's a right or wrong, but just because you think what the cop did was wrong shouldn't automatically mean that you believe everything Black Lives Matter stands for, right? It's so.
That's right. That's
exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
It's that gray. We always seem to, and it's faded every year for year after year for over the last decade. The gray is going away, and everybody is so, I'm on this side, I'm on this side, and we can't meet in the middle anymore and talk. We can't.
Well, I actually, I think I talked about this on Dean's show. I don't remember, but I essentially stopped political social media posts. And not because I'm not interested in politics, still am just as much as ever. I just, it really was negative. I wasn't, people either agreed with me, the people that didn't would never agree with me no matter what I said.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be a comedian.
Yeah, that's your channel for business, right? Like that's your channel for getting the word out about what you guys are doing for
just be funny. That's all I try to be. But I still get
make us laugh, clown.
Yeah, I still get bogged down. I'll
monkey.
still see something. So now if I say anything political, it'll be on someone else's comment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So today it's funny. Today people are it's this issue that's just come up with Biden saying that the Republicans want to take Medicare and Social Security, and I posted just as a comment on someone else's thing that I thought it was beneath him in a way. Because I don't think they're really serious about taking Social Security and Medicare. It's just a political move. And then I got, even just as a comment, I didn't post it as, my main post. All day I've been dealing with people explaining to me why I'm wrong. And I admitted it. I said, you're right. I guess you're right. I'm wrong. I guess it's because in Canada, we'll see where PP, if he ever, God forbid, becomes prime minister, our right wing isn't as crazy as their right wing, right? The conservatives have never been as crazy as the Republicans. So when people were telling me who lived there, you don't understand. They will, if they can figure out a way to cut Social Security or let it sunset or whatever it is, they'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know how they could, since old people vote Republican.
Well, that's another thing someone educated me on, was that that's going to be great for the Dems. That's why, and that was the strategy that Biden used, right? Let's scare some of those old Republicans into thinking that all of a sudden those checks are going to stop coming and those discounts on.
It would take a cycle for it to work, though, and that's the thing. So, say they did allow it to happen, it would take a cycle of them to actually experience it, because until it touches you, people don't give a shit.
Look at abortion.
Yep.
Look at abortion.
Yeah.
Would you? And I've been political since as long as I can remember, and interested, especially in American politics. I never saw that coming, that it would actually happen.
No, Roe v. Wade.
It's so funny that you say that, because people in hindsight, obviously more clairvoyant than me. When I was saying before Trump got elected, I was one of those guys, and I meant it at the time, that the Democrats ran the worst possible candidate they could possibly run against Donald Trump. The most polarizing politician in the country that half the country already hates, and you're trying to woo them over, and she won't even visit the flyover states. This is a disaster written all over it. But then people were like, the fears that people had, I thought, were misplaced. And the two ones that came up were the ones that fucking happened. The Supreme Court justice stacking thing and Roe versus Wade. And I was like, holy fuck, I've never been more wrong about anything in my entire life than I was about these two. I thought it was paranoia, because you know the way it works in the States. Fear fear of the other guy when you're running. And when does that fear ever materialize? Basically never.
Usually.
Like Barack Obama was literally 24% of voting Republicans thought Barack Obama was the fucking Antichrist. 24%.
Yep.
But theoretically, they're supposed to move to the center once they become a federal politician. They just use all those wedge issues and all that division to get through the primaries and win elections. But look what happened. So it's all.
But that's Trump went never moderated, and that's actually I keep on flip flopping. Maybe you guys
Danielle
can tell me,
Smith.
because I feel like I was thinking of Pierre Poilievre. So Pierre Poilievre courts the convoy crowd, wins the leadership.
Does he really? I don't think he really does. He doesn't talk about them much.
Well, he was there with them hanging
Every
out.
other
and then
word
that's
is
the
freedom.
photo that he'll live to regret. But I don't really.
Every
I have
word
my
is
other
freedom.
issues with him. What?
Freedom. And you ask him to define freedom, and he can never actually define it. He can never actually give you a pinpoint because he knows it's just a soundbite for those people, right?
Like this,
Yeah,
what's
and
this-
so
what's
what
the
I think is going to happen.
C21?
Sorry.
What's that?
Like that's a legitimate. The C21. What is it called? The internet.
C11.
Yeah. The Trudeau. You just posted about it, James.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I posted, but it was a senator. It was a conservative senator, and some fuckface comments underneath it. Oh well, he mentioned Pierre Poilievre, so I don't believe anything he says about this bill.
That's what I mean. We can't talk anymore.
Yeah.
I know. It's
I mean,
crazy.
that's
Like, and that
something
bill's
I've looked
crazy.
at, and it doesn't bother me as much, but I can see why it would bother a lot
For
of
sure.
people. That's a damn good issue for I hate to, I'm sure he knows it, for PP to go after Trudeau with, rather than the convoy thing. Which
Look what Trudeau just did with the gun bill, though. He called
Yes.
back on the firearms, right?
Yes.
So who's to say he's not going to do the same with C11?
you guys are
closer
you guys
to
are
the
much
election.
more in tune with what's going on than I am. So I remember when it was a handgun ban. Is that still in effect?
It's assault style weapons.
No,
and-
the handguns. It was a handgun.
They're focused mostly on long guns, on the clawback.
So they never. So I know that. So they're not going to. I can't go get a handgun, whatever the licensing requirements are.
I'm not
I
even
will be
sure
able
what it
to-
is anymore, to tell you the God's honest
Yeah,
truth. It
yeah.
changed
Yeah,
drastically, apparently.
I think if we're smarter than you on this issue, then you're really dumb.
I'm not. I'm dumb, but I'm not current on. There's been so much.
I don't think I am either on that issue.
I'm just-
And
I
my
just-
problem with that, as someone, because to me the whole gun issue is, you can say a million things about how much you hate guns till that 1.001% chance that I have a home invasion, and I want to protect my kids, and I can't because I don't have a gun.
You wouldn't be able to. Have you ever heard Jim Jeffries' take on this?
No.
About how it works, like to legally own a firearm or like a restricted weapon in this country, the ammo has to be stored away from the gun. It has to have a trigger lock. What are you going to do? Tell them to wait? Excuse me, sir.
That's as
Before
bad
you
as a
rape
ban.
us and kill us, I would like you to let me load this gun. It's
You know what's 30 times more effective than a gun to have in your home? A
and
dog.
you know what else we can't.
So you don't want your family getting killed by an intruder. Get
And
a
you
dog.
know what happened. You know what you
I have
can't use.
3 dogs. They're Shih Tzus. I don't think it's going to be myself.
You know what you
They're so annoying, Shih Tzus,
gotta
that the guy
leave.
would just probably say,
Well,
oh,
that's
"Fuck
true.
this." I
That's
gotta
true.
get
You
I thought
can't,
about that myself.
You can't use a firearm in Canada
that's
for
sneezing.
self-defense, and that's just a thing. A guy can come in wielding a machete, threatening to rape you and your wife and kill your kids, and if you shoot that guy, you'll be charged. You cannot use a firearm in this country for self-defense.
But
Period.
wouldn't it be worth it if you could save your family's life?
Of course it would. I'd go to jail for it too, absolutely. But I'm just saying, coming from the mindset of home defense is a wrong way to look at gun control.
I feel like Ninja Stars should be making a comeback.
That'd be all right.
Remember Ninja Stars?
Yeah, nunchucks.
Yeah, nunchucks.
Nunchucks.
That'd be good too. Just have all these weapons lying around your house that aren't guns, and see how you do against the intruder.
How about a mace, like a fucking big old mace, like a big.
How about a wife? Get him.
Tell 'em about your day.
My whole point was that it really bothered me that my next door neighbor, who could have a handgun because they bought it before the law was changed, and if the law was changed, and I don't know if it is or isn't. No, you guys don't either. That bothered me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
what about
all good points.
Pool balls in a sock. That's another.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I think I saw Steven Seagal do that to someone on some really awesome, amazing, well put together, directed and everything movie from the 80s. Do you remember that?
No.
Hard to Kill.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't watch Steven Seagal movies, but
He's
you know
still-
something
he's
about
still
Steven
doing them.
Seagal? He's a bitch and a blues guitar player.
And
What? Really?
Go put him on. Go on YouTube. He's pretty good.
That is as weird as Joe Pesci being a great jazz
Yeah.
singer, which is also
and he's
true.
really
That I
good.
didn't know. I didn't know, but
Yeah.
especially with that voice, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Or who was the one that told me
I
that
think it's Steven
that
Seagal.
Ramsey?
Here, you guys
Who was it
stop.
that told me
I'm gonna
that
look it up.
Yeah.
Who was it that told me that Ramsey guy was a good like rapper? Was that you, Ryan?
Ramsey.
Like the chef.
Gordon Ramsay?
Hey, no, you fucking yeah. Apparently, Gordon Ramsay's some dope ass
Shut up.
I swear, I never looked it up. Someone's got to look it up for me. If you guys, anyone in the chat, look up Gordon Ramsay rapping and see if it's there because
we will find something.
I was kind of hoping it was true, and then I was like, I don't know. Why wouldn't he incorporate that in the show? Because that would have been really kind of cool. Like if
I'm gonna howl if this is true.
About Steven Seagal?
I think it was.
No, Gordon Ramsay rapping.
Yeah.
He actually plays lead.
I sure he's not. Is that good? Oh wow. All right.
I don't see anything on Ramsey though. No, people have done like mashups with his voice and stuff, but not him.
Oh, okay. Because that would have been awesome,
Right?
in a way. I wrote a song about. I'm gonna send it in the chat later when I find it. I wrote a song about cunnilingus, and it was supposed to be funny, and people are like, it's actually pretty good. And you know what? I got it from. Do you remember the movie Face Off?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, which one? Wait a sec. There's two. There's a Canadian one.
You know the one with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
Right. So Nicolas Cage becomes John Travolta, which is the good guy, and says to his wife or John Travolta's actual wife, "I could eat a peach for hours," and that was his way of saying it. And so I wrote a song called Peach, and the hook is like, "I know what my lips are for. I could eat a peach. I could eat a peach for hours." And then I did 3 verses about cunnilingus, and I thought it was going to be like Dick in the Box.
Yeah.
Dude, I got to tell you, like people.
It was
like,
good. I heard it.
Pretty good song.
Yeah, I heard it.
That's
We were
what-
going to play it last week.
That's rap music.
Maybe I'll
It's
play it
filthy.
if you can. I'd play. Well, I'll send it in the chat or something. Remember, I don't want to play my shit anymore because it's like 3 minutes. We're just sitting there doing nothing.
Staring at each other.
If you want to, I'll send it. I'll send it as a Google Doc or something in the.
You
chat.
know Afro
And
Man? Do
people
you know
get
that guy
them, like,
Afro
yeah.
Man? Like his stuff
Like
is
because I got high.
the
is
song
that
I
guy?
know, the one song I know, it's like all about sex and getting his dick sucked, and so it doesn't surprise me that your song could be.
Colt 45 was my favorite Afroman song.
Whole 45.
2 zigzags. Baby, that's all we need.
Yeah, that's the
To
one.
the park after dark, smoke that tumbleweed.
Yeah, that's it.
As the marijuana burn, we could take our turn singing them dirty rap songs.
Yeah.
Stop and hit the bong like Cheech and Chong. It's from straight from here to Hong Kong.
Yeah, but do
Roll,
the sex
roll.
stuff. The verses are funny with the.
They're
Kentucky
fucking
Fried
hilarious.
Chicken.
Shit.
I actually hate rap music, but that is not.
That's
it's
a
kind
great
of rap,
song.
It's kind of music.
Met a little girl named Jan. She thought I was her daddy. And I found out her daddy was the leader of the Ku Klux Klan. We fucked on the bed, fucked on the floor, fucked so much she grew a fucking afro. Fucked her once, fucked her twice. Yeah. Fucked that shit till the bitch turned white. Yeah. I thought to myself, Sheba, got that ass looking like a zebra. It's so good.
I wouldn't know any of this stuff if it wasn't for Brandon Bird, our tour manager and friend. He's into rap. He books rap shows, so he plays them for me when we're driving on tour. And that one I remember because it made me laugh so hard. Some of the lyrics.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, you know what? Once I see them, I could do it. Said Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Baby, that's all we need. We can go to the park after dark, smoke that tumbleweed. As a marijuana burn, we can take our turn singing them dirty rap songs. Stop and hit the bong like Cheech and Chong. Well, it was just sundown in a small white town. They call it East Side Palmdale. When the Afro man walked through the white land, houses went up for sale.
Yeah.
Well, I was standing on a corner selling rap CDs when I met a little girl named Jan. I let her ride in my caddy, but I didn't know her daddy was the leader of the Ku Klux Klan. We fucked on the bed, fucked on the floor, fucked so long I grew a fucking afro. They fucked her left and fucked her right. She sucked my dick till the shit turned white.
It's verse after verse of stuff.
Oh, it's so good. It is like one of the funniest.
Have you
best
seen
rap
the video
songs
of him
ever.
punching the girl?
No.
Oh my God! You
Oh,
have to,
come
I'm gonna
on.
find it. What happened to James?
I think he's getting a rap song, that rap song ready. I met this lady in Hollywood. She had green hair, but damn, she looked good. Took her to my house because she was fine, but she whooped at a dick that was bigger than mine. Oh, fuck, it's so good.
Keep going. Keep going. I'm almost there.
Oh, really? Oh,
Well,
you
I'm
mean
almost-
finding
I'm gonna-
something?
No, I'm not masturbating.
I'm almost there. Keep rapping, Ryan. Rap
I'm
more
shooting
white.
at the Afro man punching
Rap,
the girl.
rap whiter to me.
Are you guys gonna rap?
No,
Oh, okay.
I hate rapping. Is this it? Keep going.
I'm trying to find the best one. Oh,
Watch.
You guys.
Oh,
I don't think he knew it was a woman. We'll show it
Yeah,
again. How
he
do I
punched
get
her
it
right
right? Hang on. Watch.
Okay.
Jesus Christ! That's a hook with a follow through. Jesus, dude.
He went to court. I think he got off. I don't know if she forgave him or whatever, but she shouldn't have been on stage.
Yeah.
That's like
I'm
if
gonna bring
that's
Paul
that
in.
guy with the hey, Paulie.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, how's it going?
And I'm gonna take I can't stand watching you smoke while we do the show because now I'm just gonna go out for a smoke. Okay.
Who's
I'll be right
smoking?
back.
Nobody's smoking.
You were earlier, and I saw it, and now I have to go. I'll be right back.
Nicotine is an addictive substance.
You ever
I'm getting
smoke?
a buzz here off something. Do you guys hear a buzz?
No.
No? Okay, maybe it's just in my head.
How are you?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
I'm not too bad.
Just chilling out on a Friday, you know?
Yeah, baby.
Were you ever a smoker, Spen?
Oh yeah.
Like cigarette smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Players light, small regular.
Oh, my
Well-
goodness.
What was the?
They weren't light at all, by the way.
What was harder to quit? Drugs or smokes?
Cigarettes were harder than heroin, harder than
It's-
anything.
It's the toughest thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You ever smoke?
I
Paul?
heard that about it. It's harder to get off than heroin, but at least for me, I mean, I wasn't, a
Yeah.
full-on mainline junkie for years.
That's true.
But I got in trouble a few times. But what happened was when I quit, I ended up with those Thrive nicotine mints.
Yeah.
You get at the drugstore,
Yeah.
and I probably was on those for 3 years. I absolutely love them.
I did the vape thing for like 6 or 8 months, and it was success. Like I was good with it. I stopped smoking cigarettes, but I was on that vape pen, and
It's still nicotine, which is the addiction.
yeah, there was but it wasn't like they tried to tout it as it was a little safer than smoking cigarettes, right? So I thought, okay, and then we'll wean ourselves off of that, and then as you wean off, I found myself, okay, well, when I'm drinking, I'm still smoking cigarettes and I'm vaping, and then I end up going up north to some cottage, and there's no vape pen shops in fucking like Halliburton anywhere, right? So the coil blew out. I was there for a week, and I just started smoking cigarettes again. So yeah,
And now you're
it's
smoking
tough.
cigarettes?
Yeah, I'm still on the.
You know
dark
why
side.
it's tough? The reason why it's tough is because it's one of the substances that you get your hit from it, you feel whatever you need from it, but it goes away faster than anything else.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's apparently why it's so addictive.
Yeah,
Hey, check this
100%.
out.
Oh wow,
Camera one,
twin
camera
brother!
two. Camera one, camera two.
What a hog!
They
What a
just
camera hog.
they finally enabled that function. They had it for a while, but I didn't get it to work for the longest time, and now it's working. So kind of cool, I think.
Okay.
Christopher Hitchens used to say that smoking was nicotine was a slut.
Yeah.
That nicotine goes with everything. It goes with cocaine. It goes with sex. It goes with coffee. It goes with alcohol. It goes with everything. It's just like whenever you have one of those things or any of those things, then all of a sudden the floozy of the bunch comes out in the form of a cigarette. And
To me, cocaine's like that for me. As soon as I don't do it anymore, but if I did it, I just want to smoke a carton of cigarettes, drink a bottle of booze, masturbate till I was a nub,
yeah, till you need Tommy John.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. That was another tweet I did that backfired on me, having to do with Christopher Hitchens. I said, I just woke up one morning and said, wouldn't it be cool to watch Chris Hitchens debate Jordan Peterson?
Yeah. Could you
He
imagine?
would just destroy.
Yeah, I
him.
know.
We need Christopher. We
A
need
lot of
Chris-
people don't
we're
agree
mi-
with you, but yeah, some did. But it was just this endless amount of responses that I wasn't expecting.
I miss Christopher
Yeah.
Hitchens so much. I got to see him at Roy Thompson Hall debate Tony Blair. I was covering it for TO blog, I think, or something. And it was 4 or 5 months before he died, right? And it was he was so weak looking, and he had to stop and because he was coughing. But his diction and his the way his prose, oh my God, he was still the same guy. Like his brain wasn't impacted at all. Like
I saw him speak at a synagogue, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
In Toronto, and it was great because he's so anti-religion. But he just said, there's not everything's bad about religion. The architecture's good. And he looked around the synagogue.
I loved how he had this reputation as a guy who could drink a bottle of Johnny Walker Black, and then we'd be lying on the floor done, and he would just give you a 10,000 word essay off the top of his head. I mean, he was a genius writer.
I could do that with cocaine if I had cocaine with me. That movie with I didn't remember the name of the movie right now, but the one with Denzel Washington where he was
the
all
pilot.
fucked up on the plane. Yeah, but he managed to somehow save everyone.
Yeah.
When John Goodman comes over and gives him like a half gram in each nostril, and then he goes and testifies and he nails it or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's actually pretty close to reality. Like I know so many people, and obviously in hindsight it was probably pretty stupid, but like when one of us would get like, okay, I got the spins, you'd be like, oh, hey, Johnny,
Yeah.
give him a key.
The closest thing for me for film that captured cocaine was a scene in Boogie Nights.
When they were talking, when they were chatting in the bedroom, right? Yeah, totally.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Can you be my mom? You can be
that
my mom, right? You're my mom. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much,
so
and I was so disappointed when I saw an interview, or no, it was. I listened to Mark Wahlberg on Howard Stern, probably about 10 years ago now or something, saying that he was at the point of his career where if he was offered that script, he would turn it down. He's like, I don't have to do movies like that anymore. And I'm like, what? Your best performance ever?
Yeah.
Like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no kidding.
Like one of the best directors of all time. I love
Yeah.
that. Can't think of his
That
name
movie
now.
was
He's
amazing.
married to the girl from Saturday Night Live. What's her name? I can't remember any names anymore.
Oh, the director?
Boogie Nights director.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yes. He's married to the mulatto woman who's just hilarious. She used to be on Saturday Night Live. She's doing commercials now. I don't know what she's probably doing.
I don't think mulatto you're allowed
Yeah.
to say. I'm sorry, but I just don't think
That's
you're
a
allowed.
thing anymore.
I've had that. I'm not gonna mention any names, but 3 times on my podcast over the last 2 weeks, that's happened. And I've been like, and one of the guests I called after the show, and I'm like, oh no, I said it. I think I said it in the show. I'm like, you said this word, eh? I was just say the word, but I won't say the guest. He said gypped. And I think a lot of people don't know that even has anything to do with the people known as the gypsies or whatever. But he didn't know, and then so he asked me if I would take it down. I'm like, nah, I can't take it down, but I won't promote it. I won't like clip it and say. This
We'll
guy
just
said
talk
gypped.
about it
I
on
won't do that.
Casual Friday. It's fine.
Well, I didn't say his name, so I'm not going to. I don't want to throw him under the bus or the other person either that did something similar. So it's weird because it's so easy to like derail someone's career for honestly like the most honest mistake. You know who
her mother was?
No.
Minnie Riperton.
Who's that?
The singer.
That would be the best porn star name for a midget.
Yeah.
She was a singer. She had a big hit with Loving
Midget.
You. She had like a huge soprano voice. That's the one.
It's easy
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys know why she sang that? So you wouldn't have to.
Same with Nas lyrics, right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone's asking us to talk about John Tory.
Oh God, yeah. Did you hear about
Someone
that?
just texted me.
Yeah.
Someone texted me just now and said, "Are you going to run for mayor, James? Now that John Tory is pulling."
Didn't you already do that?
That's what I did. That's what I said too. But what's the bill? What did he mean? He pulled a Bill Clinton.
Oh, he messed around with a staffer, 31-year-old staffer, who since has gotten another job outside of the mayor's office. So, but yeah, he philandered.
Wow.
He says, I should know better. It was about poor judgment on my part. I'm a family man. How many times have we heard that shit?
Is he married?
I don't know.
I'll tell
I
you
met
what,
him a long time ago.
my family was so screwed up that when Bill Clinton had the Monica Lewinsky scandal, he said that when he saw Lewinsky, he said, if he didn't fuck her, I wouldn't have voted for him.
Yeah, he is married. He's married. He's been married since 1978 to the same woman.
Oh.
That's crazy.
They're gonna have to. Did they already do the? Did they already do the supportive yet stern-looking wife?
No, that hasn't happened yet. Give it a couple hours.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's gonna be fun.
Did he resign officially or?
Yeah.
Really?
Do you remember when
hours.
Trump, at one of the debates, he brought in all the women for Hillary Clinton? That was one of the worst moves I've ever seen in the history of politics.
I actually thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah?
I don't know, because Christopher Hitchens again educated me on like really what Bill Clinton was all about, and it was like, and you know, ever since then I was like, fuck, really? He just seems like I mean, rape is in his his background with women is honestly just as bad as Donald Trump's. Like, really, it is. There's rape accusations on both.
Oh yeah,
you know,
fathered
like,
a couple children, I
both.
think too.
Well, the fact that I think that was a scummy thing to do does not mean that I approve of rape or it was a debate, a presidential debate.
That was brave. That's
brave, very brave.
That guy to bring those women out. Like that's the thing with Trump. It's who's the circus guy? P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum, man.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? If a Democratic candidate did it to Trump, all of us would love the fuck out of it. It's really one of those situations.
Well, they did do it. They're trying to do it with Stormy Daniels. That case,
they have been forever. Yeah.
It's been done.
I kind of like
time
the
and time
European.
again.
I don't think that has anything to do with their ability to do the job. To be honest, that really
I don't
bothers me.
think so either. In fact, some comedian
In fact, it's
said
the other
that
way.
Once.
Yeah.
Some comedian said once, you know, I liked Clinton better when he was getting pussy or something, right? he made better decisions. He seemed more calm and rational. Like,
Well, who was it? The former.
And it also it's sort of demeaning to the women, like as if you know. So she found him attractive. I mean, unless he physically raped her, I don't know what the situation was. Well,
how could you say no to this sex panther?
Jesus Christ!
So that's what happened to the ozone layer.
It looks like he found like a wig in Mr. Dressup's trunk.
That's
and he just put it on.
Photoshop, right?
No, that was COVID hair, I think. I'm pretty sure that was
gosh.
his COVID hair. Remember when he didn't cut his hair for COVID and he was like, I'm not going to a barber, neither should you. And
He looks like the caveman lawyer from Saturday Night Live a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just a caveman.
Oh my God, it's funny.
oh, what a sex panther. Good for him.
Oh fuck. He's the last guy I would have expected to do that, though.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know anything
Not
about
because I think he's decent, but because I just don't like. I couldn't.
Does he still
if I
milquetoast?
close my eyes, I can't imagine him with like that's like Mel Lastman. Or
You
Yeah,
remember
his
when
brother.
what's his name? The American preacher Jimmy Swaggart.
Yeah.
And then
fuck.
Bob
Right.
Dion put out a spread of pictures of the hooker he was with. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is politically correct. She was one of the most depressing looking people I've ever seen. I mean, you couldn't have paid me to
Ashley's got the comment of the night.
What's that?
Guys, don't talk about palliative
palliative
David Wallace like that.
Oh wow. Well, what's
my.
horrible about that is that David Wallace is in remission for
Cancer,
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah, he still has
Ashley
beautiful
didn't know
hair.
that, though.
He's got the best hair I've ever seen. Come
He
on.
totally does.
It's like this is like
Funny
this,
how we're gonna-
this is what
we're-
happens if you order David Wallace on Wish.
No. Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so funny.
I think so. That's a Wish David Wallace for sure.
And here's the Jimmy Swaggart.
Yes, I remember
That's
that.
when he was
I
confessing.
have
When he
seen
was
Oh, that was
confessing.
the greatest.
You know, you just saw this and showed it to like a middle-aged millennial. They'd be like, "Is that a wrestling manager?"
Yeah, it just looks like Mean Gene, doesn't it? Like a
Yeah.
brother of
Yeah,
Mean
yeah.
Gene.
Bobby the Brain
Like
Heenan.
praying to the wrestling gods that McMahon won't cancel his
You
contract.
know, you know who Swaggart's cousin is?
Yeah, Jerry Lee
Bill
Lewis.
Clinton?
Jerry Lee Lewis. All he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's another guy. Like, how come he got a pass? it not only was his cousin, but she
Yeah,
was
he
like
just
He didn't-
died too, and people were like,
he
all
didn't
like
really get
sad.
a pass.
Oh, I love
Well,
Jerry Lee is one of the absolute greatest rock and roll stars.
Killer.
Of all time. The Killer.
Once the wife becomes of age and they have kids and stuff, do you have to forgive him? Is that how it works?
it
Well,
was
we're
his
doing-
cousin.
The reality is, it really affected his career negatively. When he went to England after it came public, they booed him off stage, and he was sort of in the wilderness for a long
For
time.
like 25, 30 years, I think, almost before.
But he stayed with her,
But
right?
to me, it's about the pump
I
and
don't know.
piano sound of Jerry Lee, Louisiana.
I don't know if pumping is the right word to use to get out of that previous conversation.
And I like his country music. Probably Paulie knows this. I actually
Oh, yeah.
prefer his country music to his rock and roll, and they're both fantastic. I met him. Actually met him. I met him.
Well,
Oh, really?
obviously, it was better quality because of the cousin fucking. I'm sure that probably added to the quality.
Does cousin fucking bother you?
Have
like
you seen
from
what
a
she
moral
looked like?
standpoint?
She was underage.
She looks like Winona Ryder.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
beautiful.
she was
But
She was
12.
14 or something.
13.
Oh, sorry.
It was a different world back then.
Again, the fact that I say
Yeah,
she's
Pet-
beautiful,
we-
I'm not condoning anything. I'm just saying.
Well, remember,
but it was a different world back then, meaning men could fuck with impunity.
Well, it's not
Oh,
even
that's
that.
right.
Men from the South could.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
it was the
it wasn't
South.
that abnormal for them to get married at that age.
If I find out you have dinner with like three
their
couples,
cousin.
and you find out at the very end of the night that one of those couples they were cousins, would it really
Yeah.
bother you?
Mhm.
Yeah, 110.
Okay.
I felt out
Yeah.
my cousin.
Why? What would bother you about it?
It's gross.
I
it's
felt
just-
out my
it's-
cousin.
Yeah, but you're not the one doing
Doesn't
it.
matter. It's gross. It's gross. Don't fuck your cousins, guys.
I
Seriously,
felt
don't
her up.
touch your.
I didn't fuck her. I felt
Okay,
her.
well, yeah, it's still kind of gross, Spen.
What about second cousins?
Second cousins.
How does that work?
You're
Work
not supposed
that
to
out
think
for me.
about it. You're just
Work that
supposed
out
to
for me.
say no.
How
might
does
have
a
been a
second
second-
Okay,
cousin?
so I was
Actually,
at
you know what? She was a second.
I have an actual story at Christmas.
Well, work
like
this out
years and years
first
ago.
for me. What's a second
Well,
cousin?
you don't want
How
to
does-
hear an actual
how does-
example of fucking a second
What
cousin?
is a second cousin? Well, how does that work?
It was
Oh,
a second
right.
cousin. It was my
Who was
grandfather's
she?
brother's son's daughter.
Okay.
That's right. That's exactly what
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
still gross.
That's exactly. Well,
She was
it
hot.
was only gross because she.
I didn't have sex with her. I
Maybe-
felt her up. Everybody calm down. Talk about judgmental.
I had sex with my second cousin.
I did not need to know that.
But the second cousin is that I just met that didn't look anything like me. We didn't have any mannerisms that were the same. We didn't even know each other existed until the day before. Like there was no familiarity. Like it didn't feel wrong at all. It really didn't.
I did not need to know that.
I don't
You
care.
can warm up
I-
a piece of chicken liver, a whole bunch of them, and put them in and it won't feel wrong either. It's wrong though.
Now,
Just don't do it.
I thought no. Here it gets better.
Wait a second.
I actually found no. Hold on.
Chicken
It was
liver's
like
wrong?
there was no
Tsurumaki.
there was no actual blood relation. We found out afterwards. We went into it thinking that we were second cousins, but then afterwards we found out, oh, so it's like a daughter from a marriage. It was everything you just said, Spenny, except the daughter existed from a
Yeah,
previous
so it
Sounds
wasn't
like
a
a
bloodline
step
thing.
This is something that.
But we thought it was. And we went through when
Anyway.
we didn't
All
realize
right,
that.
I want to hear your opinion on this, Ryan. I happen to enjoy incest porn.
Do you?
Yeah,
Like real incest
no,
or the step?
no role playing.
Oh, what? Is that a thing?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that was going a little.
Spenny, you're
Because
Objection
I
to
know
the
that's
far.
I know that's a
Cancel
category.
profiling. What?
That's a category that's actually like if you look at any charts, when we talk about the charts on the Dean Blundell show about the porn charts, like who's watching what every year we do a thing.
It's huge.
It's massive.
Yeah, but a lot stepmother is different than mom
Yes.
though. There's a lot of stepmother, stepfathers.
Yeah, but when they say stepmother, you just ignore the step and you go straight to the good.
Did you see the face that you made when I
Oedipus.
said stepmother? You were like, you don't know
Yeah,
anything
ew.
about the thing I'm in.
They
No,
have
that's-
to, it's some kind of legal loophole. They have to say stepmother, but man, it
Yeah,
ruins
because
it.
incest is against the law, right? So you can't condone
Is
it. You
it?
can't. Yeah, it's
Amongst two consenting adults, I don't think that's actually the case, gentlemen.
in the United States.
You'd
I
have to
believe
look that up.
incest-
It depends. It would go state to state. You'd have to look it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I believe.
Finally,
and
we're
that's-
talking about something I can contribute to. Jeez.
Yeah, we went from way too formal to way too casual. Okay, so
I
where
mean,
do
let's
you
talk
find
about why that's great. Why it's
where do you
great.
find incest porn?
Okay,
Everywhere.
anywhere on my phone. Listen, You're the one that knows that it's popular. It's very, very popular.
No,
one-
it's the step one that we always, because we see the ranking from Pornhub. That's the one that we always talk about. We always bring it in, and we always say which states are the perviest and which ones. Actually, gay sex is like huge in Republican states. It's amazing. The step thing really exploded over the last like decade.
It's not step. No one's believing it's steps. They're pretending it's real. They have to, for legal purposes, say step. Let's discuss why it's so great. Let's
Okay.
discuss why
All
it's
right.
so
Why do you love it, Spen?
because sex, for me personally, and millions of other men, it has to be wrong and dirty to be good.
Taboo.
Yes.
Okay. I know that. I know that feeling.
The taboo
So-
thing. Yeah. Okay.
So that is the ultimate son daughter. I don't do any other one. It's just the son, son and the mom. I don't deal with dads. I don't deal with sisters. That's the one that I like, and millions of people like it, and it's because it's so wrong.
What, the brothers, brother and sister? You mean?
No,
Or
the mother
sorry.
seducing her
Oh,
son or teaching him.
Oh,
Yes,
you got a thing. You got
100%.
do you have a mom issue?
Too. The aunt, AUNT. What?
Do you have a mom issue though? Like
No,
Underlying?
because the last thing in the world I would ever want to do was have sex with my mother. Believe me.
I get it. I get it, and usually it doesn't have to do with sex. That's the thing.
What doesn't?
That intimacy, that craving for intimacy in a sexual way is played out by because of a different need and a different thing. Would you have a good relationship with your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How good?
On a scale of 1 to 10, not as good as you're thinking. Believe me.
No, I'm not thinking that at all. It's just that's
not
normal.
you, James. I'm talking to James.
Oh,
Listen,
okay.
reality is, I'm just ridiculously honest. I'm an idiot. I will
I
tell
love
you
it.
anything you want to know.
Yeah, no.
That is why.
That's
That
fine.
is what's exciting about it. The kink that I like is the idea of an older woman seducing a younger man, which is what happened to me when I was lost my virginity and a couple more times in my life.
So that's why the aunt thing is cool too, right? Like it's just the older woman and the younger vulnerable boy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
In fact, I've got to go, guys.
You have nothing to be ashamed of, Spenny.
Anyways, I really do have to go.
bet.
Now I have to say I'm going to put my daughter to bed, which couldn't be the worst thing.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
That's actually what I have to do. Can I tell you guys a
That was
joke?
the greatest.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Please?
Well, you just did. You should have ended on that, Spenny. But please, it better be really
Well,
good.
That was a joke,
A
please.
father takes his daughter
Oh Christ.
to the vaginal doctor. What do they call the gynecologist?
The match doctor.
Okay, and the father
Pussy
says,
professional.
I need you to get some birth control pills for my daughter. And he goes, how old is she? And he goes, 13. And the doctor goes, and she's sexually active? He goes, no, she just lays there like her mother.
Oh
Anyway,
my God. Oh.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Wow.
Oh my
I know
God.
it's good though. It's good though. But it was good.
Well, actually,
We're like Bill Maher's audience now, and you're Bill
Yeah.
Maher, and you're
That's
like,
dark,
fuck
dude.
you.
It's very dark and it's funny. And I can't, this is what's great about the indie media that you guys do. It's because you can say anything and do anything, and who gives a fuck what anybody thinks.
Now go tuck your daughter. in.
Goodbye. Thank you.
good night, Spen.
Take
Good
care,
to see you,
brother.
pal. Oh, Spenny, everybody.
I love him.
Oh, he's so good. He's
love
so
him.
fucking
Great, but that was dark.
He's so funny.
That was great though. I love Gallows humor.
He
like
remind-
that. I love it.
I told
Yeah,
the
go-
punchline last time when we did the punchlines only. Remember?
Yeah.
In about,
Yeah, you
about
did.
5 minutes when your mom leaves for work, right? So
That's
it's no better. It's no worse.
I want to show something else I did today that I didn't get attacked for, but I was kind of surprised. So Saucy Sea Witch, Ree,
Yeah.
I guess, did we call her Ree?
Rihanna. Sure.
Yeah. She posts this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are chocolates that look like dicks, right? And there's
They're
one
veiny.
white chocolate one on the top, and then there's a bunch of different shades of brown chocolate on the bottom. And so that came up, and then this was my caption for it.
Oh,
Jackson
Jesus
5
Christ.
collection.
Oh,
The
Jesus
Jackson 5
Christ.
collection.
Oh, wow. Which one's Tito?
1, 2, 3. I think we know which one
one's
Michael
Janet?
is.
Which one's Janet?
No, that would be Latoya. That's Latoya.
And the strawberries look like butt plugs. That's the best part.
Oh,
That is really funny.
Thank you, Saucy
Very
Sandwich,
well
for-
done.
Yeah,
For
that's
the
a good one.
Valentine in your life, get the Jackson 5.
When you want to treat your
Shamo!
lady to that
Whatever he says
special
there.
evening, make sure to get her the Jackson 5-pack.
Bye. Woohoo. Ow. Just bumped my head into the microphone.
Oh, shit.
So I was so casual today that I didn't put up a background. So that's
Yeah, I
all
Wow,
noticed.
right.
totally chill. Yeah.
Oh, at least
No
you got the
backdrop.
lights on. That's stellar.
Yeah.
I was going to put
It's
some
like big
Christmas lights in the
decoration.
background, but I changed my mind. I just lit a
I
candle.
keep on. Oh yeah, is that the one behind your head
Yeah,
there?
yeah. It has 150-year-old beeswax in it that contains honey, so it gives off this really nice aroma.
Not a hipster at all.
no,
sounds
it's
elitist.
With
from
the
my-
fucking
my
beard
dad.
and the fucking wax. Not a hipster
Yeah,
at all.
I was just about to say, did you buy that while going beer hair shopping?
No,
or whatever?
no.
What
My
is it?
dad made them for my sister's wedding years ago, and I kept a bunch of them. And when the drippings fell down, I just collected some and put it. That's one of those little things where you put oil in, and like fragrant oil or something
yeah.
like that. So I put the wax
Those
in.
things are dangerous sometimes.
Yeah.
You have to have really good oil, or else bad things
Yeah,
happen.
it's true.
It spurts and
Yeah.
stuff. I had a hipster beard item. I still have it. A sandalwood comb.
Yeah, I have one.
For my beard. Yeah,
Of course
that's
you
pretty
do.
hipster, isn't it? Yeah.
Dude, you know how much effort it takes for this? It's like oils and waxes and shampoos.
It literally grows on its
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it
Like,
just
you-
does its own
You
thing.
just got to survive
Yeah,
in
but-
order for that to grow.
remember the fro I had when I was younger? That's what my beard would look like. You don't want to have pubes looking on your face. It's just not cool.
Imagine beard hair grew like horse mane.
Well, we just lost the Hasidic audience. Thank you for that, Paul.
Fuck. Oh my god. Oh fuck! I hate rappers. Like I love
What
them, but
did
I
you
hate
do?
them so much.
What did you do?
The DOC fucking the first DOC is like he is.
We haven't talked about this.
Easily, well I talked about it a bit at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
before he got here, but he was easily like when I booked him, I was just like, all right. I don't normally like prep all that much. I have like 2 post-it notes with keywords,
Yeah.
and that's usually it. I freestyle everything. This time I had like a chronological question construct that made a U from my left to my right, and it was still keywords, but it was like there was like 8 of them, and I was like, okay, because I wanted to like really nail this interview. And so I told him like an hour beforehand, I'm like, okay, I'm like, just like no tablets or, not an hour beforehand, like 5 hours beforehand, like no tablets or phones, no Safari, just if you can use a laptop with Chrome, which every time I ask that now from guests, I'm getting a little bit of pushback as if that's asking too much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Like a laptop? That's too much? Like with Chrome? Even if it was an Apple, you could still use
Yeah.
it. Just get a different browser. I don't know. I hate it. So he shows up on a phone and it's Safari. And I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, and his audio's already challenged,
Yeah.
right?
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he's got a way of talking that
It's
know,
low
like,
and it's
I'm
like
not-
he's quiet, right? So
Well, it's like he's
Yeah.
got one of those,
I lost my voice because I used to smoke too many cigarettes.
Pretty much.
one of those things, you know?
Isn't that it's a weird factoid too that it wasn't the car accident
No.
that fucked over his vocal cords. It was when they inserted the
yeah,
feed.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Great
they
guy,
had to move some shit around, he said.
great artist though. I like that was my jam. That like I was totally invested. I didn't care what it sounded like, but then it was literally halfway through. I'm like, James, your mic's off. Why is your mic off?
Like honestly, everything that could have gone wrong in that interview went wrong. Like the interview itself wasn't bad.
No,
Just all the
no, the
tech.
interview was
The-
great.
The conversation was okay, but my audio was like stupid, and his audio
Was
was
the, yeah.
an indication that he didn't fucking read what he said. Sure, no problem. To like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you don't have a staffer, I'm pretty sure, but like, you know, what's going on here? Anyways, and it was only 20 minutes or something.
It was still
so
great.
was,
It was still
yeah,
great.
it
It was
was
good to
good.
see him. He looks good. He sounds good.
He
You know,
does
like
look
not
Yeah.
a whole lot's changed with him. It's really nice to see. So that
How
was
old
like
is
a
he now?
blast.
we had a good laugh when he first came on because I was like, I was like, I don't know if Methuselah's an Egyptian king, and I ain't calling you old, but I feel like I should like bow or something. Look at that beard, right? He starts laughing.
How old is he?
Yeah.
It's got to be like
60 almost, right?
He's 19. He was not. He was 1970, I think. He was
Oh,
born,
so
'cause
50
I think he was 19 or
53.
1989.
So he's younger than
I
me.
think so. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's something like that. 53. His if I'm not mistaken, his debut album was maybe he was older than that. I thought he was 19. It was in 1989, but the DLC age 54.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
same
79. Or 69.
It says
69.
68. Okay, so he'll
68,
be
it says.
55 this year then.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
55 in July.
You're as old as the DOC.
Yeah.
Where's your platinum album, bitch?
I don't have one.
Yeah, I know. Neither do I. I don't have nothing. I wish I had I have one SoCan check and I lost it, and it was for like $3.12.
You're supposed to frame those.
Yeah, just frame it because
I know. That's why I kept
Yeah.
it. And then I never had an apartment with a wall big enough to frame it.
you know what you do is you frame it and you write the dude on it, because what was it when he tried to write a check for milk at the beginning of The Big Lebowski? What was it, $1.12 or something like that? You remember?
Really?
What did he try and write a check for?
Milk.
Okay. I thought
At the very beginning of the
I thought he said
film.
milk. I thought he said
Milk.
milk.
Were you trying to give us 5?
There,
What
no,
were
it
you
sounded
doing?
like a milk, and I had to
No,
stop
milk.
the podcast there for a second.
Oh, because that's the Dutch way. of
Yeah,
saying
milk.
No, milk.
Malk.
Milk.
Malk.
Isn't that what they serve at IKEA? Malk. M-A-L-K.
No, that's a writing
With
instrument.
umlauts over the A. Malk.
I don't think I've ever hated a store before IKEA. Actually, no, I hated Walmart before IKEA. That's true. I hate IKEA. I hate IKEA like it's Jesus.
I'm with you.
You know, like
I'm with you. I get anxiety just walking through the door, and I'm not an anxious guy, and I get anxiety walking into that place just because.
Really?
Oh, well, they had
And what
they had
kind of
those stupid.
Tarantino? What? Yeah.
No,
sorry,
I was
go
gonna say they had those stupid fucking arrows before COVID, and I didn't like them. And I'm like,
ahead. Oh, that was so demeaning.
you
right?
don't. I'm gonna go the other way now because you fucking told me that. And then COVID came.
I'm a contrarian, bitch.
Yeah,
What do you want
then,
me to do?
Then
Like,
COVID came around. It's like, oh shit. All right, fuck. least there was
69
a-
cents. There you go. That's what he wrote, a check for 69 cents. For some reason, I thought it was $1.12. I haven't watched the movie in a few weeks. I'm gonna have to throw it on again soon, I think.
In a few weeks,
Yeah.
how many times have
should
you
be
watched
really
this
disciplined.
movie?
Hundreds of times. Haven't you ever watched The Big Lebowski? It's a
That's
great film.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like twice, I think.
it's a good film. Like,
Compulsive.
I don't know about great.
Yeah,
like
it's
it's good.
good.
It's like it's 3 stars. Pretty.
Yeah.
Like
I had a buddy used to have a
low 3.
Lebowski fest every year, and we'd show up, and everybody'd be in bathrobes, and we'd be drinking White Russians all night long.
That wasn't for the movie though, was it?
That was.
That was in
You were
the
like
movie.
the movie stole this from us.
Yeah, we
We
were
had,
doing this before then.
We had Gordy Johnson on from Big Sugar a few weeks ago, and he was wearing the actual dude's sweater. Somebody bought it for him for Christmas because he's a huge Lebowski fan, and we got into the talk about the movie, and none of us were convinced that it was as great of a movie. Oh, the more you watch it, the better. It's like no, I think you lull yourself into that. It's like
There are
watching
certain-
Seinfeld over and over. You just get comfortable, I think.
There are certain scenes in it though that I've seen actually. Then someone ripped it off. Maybe they meant it as a homage or whatever. But the scene where he throws the ashes in the air,
Yeah,
and they
it
just
comes
all fucking
back.
land in the dude's face. Oh my god! Like because I wasn't expecting that when that happened. Oh,
Douglas
speaking of not
joins
expecting
us
that, hello,
from the
Douglas.
Hello,
How are you, buddy?
everybody.
Hi, pal. How are you?
This is like classic Casual Friday.
It
now.
is.
Going back.
Yeah,
OG with great value Saddam Hussein.
Oh
And
my god! Sam, whenever you want to get that ball rolling, you let me know because I can do it.
how are you, Douglas?
Oh, I am doing really well. I'm a little low energy, but that's okay. That's just because
Get
I
some
came
wine
back
in you.
with a- Yeah, really, I should. I came back.
You're not supposed to say that. You're just supposed to see if we know.
Well, I had a big meal with my sweetie. I took him out to dinner to celebrate the fact that he finished teaching one of his courses. So,
Well, congratulations.
little
Any
celebratory
excuse
dinner.
to
Fucking
celebrate.
celebrate everything.
Yeah, why not? Why not celebrate everything? Life is a party.
I guess so. Yeah, it just seems. I guess maybe celebration for me is so foreign. Now that it was my birthday last week. I have no.
I don't remember.
I passed the course. Let's go celebrate. What? I want to be there. Can I go celebrate with you guys next time
Absolutely.
the course is passed? Okay, good. I have something.
Thanks for saving us, Douglas. What was going on before I got here?
Oh, you
Oh,
missed it.
you missed it with Spenny. It got dark, dude.
It ended on a high note.
It was easily Spenny's best appearance.
Oh, it
Absolutely.
was funny, but okay. Now I got to go put my daughter to bed. Oh, dude.
That's what was funny about it. It's like an Aristocrats thing. You got to look at it with the mindset of it's all jokes.
Totally.
there's
That
no
was
victims.
total Gilbert Gottfried. That's what that was. That was a Gilbert Gottfried.
Gotcha.
That makes me like he is so Gilbert Godfrey meets Larry David or something. Like they had a baby or something. You know what I mean? Like because he's just his natural personality is sort of like that deer in the headlights, but still like witty and stuff. Like it's weird, and it's there's no one like him in this country. I don't think. Like as far as the way that he delivers his comedic chops or whatever. I'm actually get a little mad sometimes that Kenny has so many more followers. that upsets me sometimes. I'm like,
I think that was the setup, though. Just to summarize it for you, Douglas. He ended and he left on a underage incest joke after telling us that he felt up his cousin. If that helps.
that's right.
And that he enjoyed incest porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told him to go tuck his daughter. After
Just go tuck her in. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, he told us that was actually what he was doing.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
That's
Classic
what he said he
Spenny.
was doing. So I just reminded him that he had to go tuck his daughter.
Classic
because
Spenny.
of all that.
Classic Spenny.
I see. So I arrived at just the right time then.
Yeah.
So now top that, bitch.
Unfortunately, the splatter of his dirty joke probably will stain your shirt. But
See, now my first instinct is like, well, what do you think about? And I wanted to say something, but I really can't think of anything worse than incest. So
Yeah, right.
I'm stumped.
oh, there's some shit worse than incest.
Well, yes, I
obviously.
guess there are, but
You know, mass murder
yes.
is probably worse than having sex with a family member.
What
Although
about this hottie though?
Ooh,
that's worse than incest. That's worse
Damn.
than incest.
who's that?
That's John Tory.
Former
That's
mayor of Toronto.
John the Gigolo Tory. Did he resign yet?
Yeah, he did earlier today.
Freshly former.
Oh, shit. I didn't
Really?
realize that.
Yeah, it's been a big
Oh
day.
yeah. He had
Oh,
an
damn.
I thought he had just caught in the scandal and we were about to see him try to navigate it, but he's just resigned
I
immediately.
take
Inappropriate
3 hours
affair
off
with a
for dinner
staffer.
and
That's
stuff
what I
happens.
said.
You know what that means? I'll tell you exactly what that means from a crisis management point of view for him. That means that his wife wanted too much for him to stay in. Because that's the deal. I was going to say earlier that when you see the dejected wife, when a male politician talks about his infidelities and you see like in the backdrop or right beside him, the wife that looks stern but still there supporting her man, but stern, they usually, a crisis management person told me this, they usually have cut deals where it's like, I'll stay with you for the next year and give you the PR that you need. After the next election, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and you can give me $5 million.
That's Melania.
Like Hillary Clinton's deal was probably.
It was very House of Cards, I bet. Yeah,
You're,
Rob.
you're back in my run for president. You got that right.
I love the left. I love the left lean. Yeah, and the other twist. If anybody's not seen that show, what he was into, but the other, I love the twist of the left. The hard lefties when it comes to conspiracies on the hard left. My favorite guy for that is Rob Gill on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
And he just said something perfect. He said, "I bet you Doug Ford leaked the John Tory story to take the spotlight off him after those $1,000 donations for his kids."
Oh yeah.
He's probably not wrong. He's probably
Yeah,
not
right.
wrong.
Could be right.
At
Was
all.
it who broke the story? Was it a post media?
I don't know who.
CBC. I saw, that's where I got it. Was on the CBC.
Oh,
I
really?
just got an alert on CBC News World. It just sent it to my
I
phone.
wonder who broke it though. I wonder who the reporter
I don't
was
know.
that first
Yeah.
found out. Because if it was a post media, then that conspiracy theory starts to make a little
Right.
bit
A lot
of sense.
more
Because the
sense.
connecting tissue would be like Warmington
Yeah,
or some
or-
shit.
yeah,
you know,
Lily.
like- yeah.
Oh,
Lily doesn't break stories. He just writes what they tell him.
That's
to.
right.
Who was it? The former president of France a few years back. He got into hot water with his mistress, and it wasn't because he had a mistress, because it's
No.
France. They're like,
It's normal,
that's
yeah.
to be expected. He's a powerful man. He has a
Yeah, it's
mistress.
normal. Yeah.
The reason they got pissed at him was he put her in government housing.
yes.
So the taxpayers were paying for her housing, and that was verboten. They're like, we don't care that he has a mistress. He should have a mistress. But we don't want to pay for her housing. He should pay that out of his own damn pocket.
Well, yeah, no one cared. The press didn't care though back in the day about like JFK made Bill Clinton look like a
Oh
bird,
yeah.
you know. Plus, he had better taste in women.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. Like Bill Clinton's taste in women.
What was it?
Yeah.
Bill Maher said.
Wrong.
So when
He was the only good
Monica
Kennedy
Lewinsky-
for that, though. The other one, Teddy was
they were
Teddy was a
terrible.
great senator, but a horrible date. So
Yeah.
Want to
Chappaquiddick?
go for a Sunday drive? No.
No. Yeah, I think I'll take an Uber. Do they have Uber back then? No.
You people.
the story about Tori is out on crier.co if you'd like to go and read it. Dean has posted a good article on there about it, so it's there.
Awesome.
Wow.
But you know what? That was a David Wall. This is a David Wallace story.
Yeah,
yeah.
probably.
Yes.
And what I mean is there's someone behind the scenes, like a guy like David Wallace, that found the report. Like, reporters don't just go sniffing around with a magnifying glass and find an affair. Someone tells them, right? Like, it always lands on their lap.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they go seek it. So they'll get a call. That's what happened. That's what Robin Doolittle literally made her bones because she happened
Rob
to
Ford.
answer the phone.
Yeah.
When the guy was calling about Rob Ford and the crack thing, and she just got lucky, right? Like,
Well, and she's
it
a
happens,
good writer
right?
too. But
Yes.
that was
She's
the
a really
luck of
good
the draw.
speed talker.
Yeah.
She's a really good. Speed
The,
That was the luck of the draw, though. That one, literally. I mean, because she'd probably still be toiling
Anyone could
away.
have got that one.
What was the JFK Jr.? What was it that he missed most about Hyannisport? The runway.
Airport.
Oh, really? Well, that's close. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on the Kennedys.
Clearly.
How long does it take a Kennedy to change a light bulb? Nobody knows. They don't outlast the light bulbs.
Jesus.
Era, this is horrible. Get me out, Era.
You know what?
Oh.
You could trim the fat on that joke and be like, how long do? How many candies does it take to change a You have to use the word broken. You don't use the word broken because then you can just go. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Well, what was it Bill Maher said many, many years ago when the Lewinsky-Clinton scandal was taking place? He's like, so let me see if I get this correct. It was 3:00 in the morning. He's in the office working. He's on the phone to a senator. He was just desperate and needed something. He just looked out into poked his head out of the office and said, hey, you get on in here.
That'll
You'll
do.
I'm like, that's terrible because I've actually interacted with Ms. Lewinsky multiple times on Twitter. She's a lovely person. She was the very first cyberbullied victim.
Yeah.
And
She was totally bullied she was the most bullied person in the
oh,
world.
by far. By far.
Imagine if the internet existed back then.
Oh,
She was just
Like,
S
really
and a D,
existed?
man. Leave her be. She was just
Yeah,
S and a
what
D.
she did, fine with, And I saw her interviewed about a year ago on the Dan. Dan Rather has his interview series. It used to be on HDNet. Now I think it's just on YouTube, and occasionally CBS will throw something up there. But he had a 1 hour sit down with her, and yeah, she's a remarkable person. The way she rose above all of that shit. He's like the ride from New Lincoln.
Where he goes, other than that, Miss Kennedy, how did you like the ride of the new Lincoln? You know what she said? It's very airy. No, wait. Magic.
Magic.
Oh boy.
Man.
Because of the bullet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I still don't think it was just Oswald. Am I alone
Oh,
now?
no,
Because when I grew up, it was
no,
like it wasn't just Oliver Stone that said it; it was everybody. Like how
The grassy
see
knoll.
the footage.
The grassy
How
knoll.
how does this
Yeah.
go make a guy go like that if the bullet comes
From behind,
there?
it
Like,
doesn't.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Like, is there a weird thing I don't know about in physics where if you get hit in a bullet in the back of the head and it comes out the front, either you go like this or something like that? Like, is it? I don't know. Maybe, did he have Tourette's? Like that was just the last symptom.
Not to mention the fact that the back of his head blew out.
Could you imagine?
Oh, God.
Listen to me.
Oh, God, too soon. That's way too soon.
Way too soon?
Yeah.
November 22nd, 1963. We're good.
I've never been on It's great.
What was that?
How does that sound?
going on?
Popping up all the
I've
time.
never been on live television
What is
before.
this?
It's the apparently kid.
Oh, is that you, Paul,
Yeah.
doing that though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Ryan and I have the same soundboard. We have the same mixing console.
I feel like I'm at the mercy of you two on my own show sometimes. Just like waiting for Jordan Peterson to talk about pornography and masturbation. Which is fine sometimes, but it's just a little loud, so it becomes like, I'm gonna kill you, Jordan Peterson. I'm gonna stab you right in the fucking arrogance.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
It's true.
Admitting it is the first step, Poodle.
I'm trying to make this episode, believe it or not, this is like the most polite that I get, because I was so embarrassed last episode when I was like, saying things that just didn't land right, and expecting my colleagues to bail me out instead of like a little bit of a silence.
A good friend bails you out
and like
eventually.
literally my thoughts leaked out of my cry hole at such a rapid pace that at one point I'm like, why am I doing this? Like in my own head. Why am I saying these things out loud?
See, the difference between a friend and a good friend is a friend bails you out. A good friend bails you out eventually.
Yeah,
I don't want to get down that road because that's what got me into that in the first place. Douglas.
Here's the rope.
Right.
Here's some more rope. Did you order
Douglas.
more rope?
Now I have to disagree with Douglas, which also is rope.
Here's some rope.
Right? Like,
It's the old saying, a good friend will bail you out of jail. A great friend is sitting beside you in the cell going, that was awesome.
here, fishy, 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 fishy. Fresh fish, fresh fish. And it's fat ass by a mile. I love that movie. I think that might be my favorite movie. If I really like, if there was someone's like Desert Island, what movie won't get sick of? I'd be like Shawshank. Fuck. It would have to be. I think. What movie could I watch the way you watch The Big Lebowski? It would probably be
Shawshank. That was.
It's almost a perfect movie.
That was the longest night of his life.
It really is.
That's my best Morgan Freeman.
Andy
Could you
Dufresne
imagine-
was a bird that couldn't be
I
caged.
thought it was-
My good friend Andy Dufresne.
Yeah.
So you guys have moved to Shawshank, and I'm still stuck on fat ass. I'm imagining having
Shawshank?
a dog or
Shawshank.
Shawshank, and I'm still stuck on fat ass. I'm imagining having like a dog or a cat named Fat Ass, and you're out the door. Fat ass, come on, fat ass.
I thought
Very
maybe it was
fat.
like a Bollywood remake. Shawshank.
Shawshank.
The Shawshank Redemption. Somebody comes dancing out from behind a tree. It's carved in there. It says Sharp Deep was here.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in trouble for
If
that
I
one.
hear so
in
much
trouble.
as a mouse farting here, I
love
swear to
Bollywood
Christ,
movies.
you'll all visit the infirmary. Dufresne, you better be sick or dead. I shit you not. I love
Yep.
that movie. I love everything.
There's
about that
actually, I had a stint in my old office when I worked for Air Liquide Canada, and we had the old system of like a PA where you would actually pick up a phone and it would go over the speakers. And my office had a window in the door, and somebody was at the door and I had the door locked, and I put my feet on the desk and I started. I don't know what that old lady, fat lady, was singing about, but I put it on. Like I looked up the actual song from YouTube,
Yeah,
and like put it over the speakers, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Yeah, that's
Former
elaborate.
employee.
That's like your Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
In the back of the freezer.
I'm that asshole in the office, just so you know.
You were
Like,
that guy. in
Yeah,
the
I'm.
office, eh?
Yeah,
Did you also sell brown paper bag lunches at one point?
no, I'm not. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of anything in an office. Like I don't like camaraderie in offices. I think it's fucking fake and it feels shitty. It feels stupid. Like when let's have a birthday cake for fucking Sally. I like Elaine in Seinfeld when she gets sick about the. That's me. Just leave me the fuck alone. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to work, right?
Here to earn money.
Yeah, so I would take the opposite, and I would just be a dick about shit sometimes, and I would just do random funny things every once in a while. And I had like of course I had friends in the office, but most of them weren't pals, right? So,
So you were this. So in the office, because we all know I've worked in offices. There's certain characters. So you were the stand-office guy.
Actually, Jen brings up a good point. I can't remember where I told the story, but I did. They were having a going away party for me when I quit, and I didn't even show up. I told them to order. I wanted lunch. I told them what I wanted for the lunch. They ordered this. They catered the lunch in for everybody in the office, and I said, "That's my going away present for all of you guys. I'm leaving," and I didn't even go. So, Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
I hope the only party I skip for me would be my funeral, because that mean I'd be still alive somewhere.
Yeah,
and just fake my death.
that would be weird.
But other than that, I think I skipped my prom, like graduation ceremony, everything. I skipped it all.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, do I have my diploma? They're like, yeah. I'm like, so I don't have to do anything? They're like, no. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm not
peace
going to
out.
prom. Like, yeah.
Fuck this. Why
Graduation?
stick around for that?
Yeah, the bare minimum. Yeah. I don't know.
Skate by,
If I was
skate
dating-
by, skate by.
If I was dating Douglas, I'd probably go to Disney World or some shit.
Oh, yeah, well, he celebrates everything, he said, right? Like, fuck.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look, they put
Absolutely.
new paper towel in the bathroom. Let's have a party about it. Like, fuck yeah.
Whoop 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 whoop.
Who's bringing the cake?
Get the glow
Yeah, you know what?
sticks.
I envy him for that. I envy people like you.
Oh, I think you brought the cake. You're not even carrying anything, but you brought the cake, honey.
Yeah, there's a company I worked at many, many years ago that used to say, "We're a family here." I'm like, "You're not my family." No, we're a family here. Great, Dad. You don't pay me enough. Give me more money. Well, we don't. I thought you said we were a family. If I called up my real father and said I need money, he'd give me money.
This proves you're capable of lying.
I'm like, no, you're my employer. That's
Oh,
it.
we're family? Oh, great. So that means I'm not coming for Easter, and I'm telling you I'm coming for Christmas, but I will cancel at the last minute.
Yeah.
Cool.
The British employee.
Don't get me wrong. I love my coworkers, but we're coworkers. That's it. We don't see each other outside of work. It's like we're at work. That's it. We finish our day. We all go home, and we're great at work. But we're not family. We're just coworkers, and we're very friendly, very congenial. But it's our job, and when you go home, that's your private life. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I worked in when I worked in offices. It was always excuse me.
Were you the copy guy? Steve-O,
no,
making
I
the
was
copies. Copier Steve.
I was the customer service rep. When I was like young, like my first job ever was a telemarketing job for a home improvement company, and I had a bunch of telemarketing jobs until I went to college because I was really fucking good.
So
at
while
it.
you're on the phone
Like,
to me all the fucking time?
No.
Seriously, buy my timeshare,
for
man.
other reasons. What's that?
Seriously, buy my
No,
timeshare.
but and then customer service. And the problem with the job was that I could do it well, but it bothered me so much that I would like my ADHD would just kick in. I'd put down the phone and I'd wander. I'd flirt with women shamelessly. I would fucking like go out for cigarettes and joints. I'd come back into it. And when I was in sales, I would do the same thing, but my numbers were always fucking sky high. So they didn't know what to do with me. I've had so many meetings where it was like, James. It literally they say shit like this, James. We know that you bring the juice and that you bring the fire, but we can't have you gabbing with Stephanie all the time and going out for cigarettes without saying anything and hardly ever being at your desk. How do you get the numbers so high? I'm like, I don't know. I just fucking talk to people. Do what you need to do for a job like that. One job fucking fired me. Because you sign this thing, it's like a probationary period, but they also hold on to your commissions until after you pass the probationary period, or they just...
That's scum.
So, like, literally a day before, I was like, I won, like, the award for, like, highest numbers of the last week or whatever, and I was just killing it. They owed me, like, $3,200 in commissions, and they fucking fired me.
Of course. And you never got
And I was
them.
like,
Yeah.
for what? For what? They're like, oh, there's a number of things. I'm like, you didn't give me a warning. Like, can you tell me what it's for? They're like, technically, we don't have to tell you what it's for. And I'm like, yeah, but you're going to be my last words to him were like, so you're just going to be a cocksucker and not tell me and expect me not to know that it's because you owe me $3,000? Is that really what you're doing? James, sorry, I was nice having you. And I was like, fucking, like, I just want to, like, that shit, like that. I ran into that all the time. And I know I invited a lot of it because I was literally the same guy.
Shocked.
Like, you know.
Shocked.
Yeah, I was just.
My
Because if
shocked
my
face.
manager was like, one time, like, I'd have conversations with managers. And I'm like, what I'm telling you is, I think I found a way to like double your sales numbers for this particular product if you add this. That's all it will take. And like everybody else was like, yeah, great idea, except the guy that made the decision. He'd be like, yeah, I just don't think it. And I'm like, you're fucking stupid. Like I would say that. Like, I would just say that. Well, you're fired. Yeah, I know. Fuck off. Like. Because I knew I would. I didn't have it in me, man.
Douglas,
you know, I came from a dysfunctional home, and I didn't understand. Like to me, that was like being so polite that the queen was there. If I had to sit in the space they told me to sit in, like I'm not wired like that. I can't. A cubicle is like a beehive hole, whatever those things are called.
What they call them in Generation X, the novel, veal fattening pens.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I gotta
Awful.
know, Douglas, have you ever been fired from a job? I couldn't see anybody ever firing you for anything.
No.
Sort of, yes.
Really?
What?
Yeah, sort of.
Not constructively dismissed. I mean fired. Okay.
It was getting there. Yeah. One of my first jobs ever when I was in high school, I got a job working at Arby's. And I let them know that I was very, very school year oriented. So I didn't want more than 12 hours per week. And I didn't want to do any closings.
Okay.
Because I wanted to keep my grades up. Because I was poor. Right.
Mhm.
And if I wasn't getting scholarships, I wasn't going to university.
Yeah.
Right. So, and after about a week, they had me called. They were calling me all the time when somebody couldn't come in and take a shift. And then they had me doing closings. And all of a sudden I was doing like 17 to 20 hours in closings. And then about like 3 weeks in, they come in and they have a sit down with me. And all this time I said no to no shift. I accepted all the shifts and I did the closings and did all the work. And they said, we get the feeling you don't really want to work.
Bitch, I said 12 hours. What the fuck with this 20-hour shit?
I quit on the spot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be like a
really? Really?
Yeah.
Because I said none
Good
of
for
that,
you.
none of that. And within 2 weeks, you violated all of that. And I just said no to any. I took every single shift. And then you're thinking to me, it's like seems like, excuse me, but for where I'm sitting, I see I'm the only one who does want to work.
And they called you
Because I'm
Doug,
the one who shows up.
didn't they? They call you Doug? Is that was the
See,
problem?
yeah.
They called
I
you
had a-
Doug, didn't they?
No.
the straw.
They
Dougie.
really just like, it was my first job. And they like, I always had this
D-money.
sense for some reason of, you could say a lot of things about me and things will like roll off my back. But it's like, you just come and tell me, it's like, I don't think you want to work. And it's like, and I've been busting my hump. It's just like, turn around. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go not work somewhere else.
I'm out,
Thank
bitch.
you. Someone else
Grab
would get
two
one
this.
time
pints and
I
slide
was
out the
working-
door.
I was working for this company for like 2 months once, and all of a sudden, like, it dawned on me. I'm like, oh shit, I'm working for an illegal pharmaceutical distribution company. Like, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. So I was like, I found out that the doctor that I was referring all of my clients to, right, were just like Jen, the girl that I bought acid from down the hall. Like she's not a doctor, right? Like, you know.
Okay,
It was
Barry
called,
Sherman's dead now. You can talk about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is like 2005, 2006, and so it was like it was a dark time, as many times were back then. But like, I was like, you know, all of a sudden I was like, Jesus Christ, am I doing illegal things? And then I'm like, of course I am. I'm renewing Vicodin prescriptions just via phone calls.
Yeah, that's totally not legal.
Still got
was my
that pad,
job.
by the way.
And I made.
Got that pad?
Yeah.
Call me.
It was just like, it was so, anyways, I think I kind of knew, but I just didn't want to, I didn't care. It was a paycheck.
Yeah.
But then when I found out how it worked, I was like, this is like absurd. And so I had the bright idea of going to the manager and sitting down and having a closed door meeting and being like, so I'm realizing the operation that you have going on here. And, you know,
Slightly
I got to
illegal.
say, like, you know, if I get a boost in my pay, I think you'd really see some benefit in that or something. I can't remember what it said. And he just let me go on the
Right
spot.
away?
So I went to the
Showed
police.
your whole dick, did you?
I went to the police and I'm like, there's an illegal pharmaceutical telemarketing hub down the street.
Of course you did, you piece of shit.
I don't know. Well,
I only
fuck.
ever got fired once.
They were feeding drug addicts illegally their heroin, basically. Right?
yeah,
Like that's what that they made money through addiction. They were like the white collar version of Bumpy Johnson. You know? That's what they did.
Grumpy Johnson. Yeah, I got fired once. I was a teenager, and my buddy's dad owned a Pioneer gas bar, and got us all jobs. Like all of my friends worked at this gas bar, and I worked there for like probably 3 years, like as a student. Great time, and it was a full serve gas bar. And then they did renovations, and it became like a half full serve, half self serve, right? So we still worked the full serve side because we didn't want to work in the store. We liked working outside and working. Like, we had fun, and it was probably close to the end. We used to always work the afternoon shifts, the 3 to 11s, right? And we would close the full serve at 11 o'clock. And it was probably quarter to 11. We didn't. Everything's counted. You had to count your the packs of smokes, and like you count everything. You count your money. Bonus bucks was still paper, so you had to count fucking bonus bucks, 5 cents at a fucking time. And so when closing came, it was time to fucking go. And this guy came at probably quarter to 10 to 11, and fill it up, check the oil, fill the fucking windshield washer. Can you wipe the windows? Can you wipe them again? There's a streak there. Can you wipe? Finally, it was like one of those, fuck this. And I just like took his money, took his fucking, I just shut his head. I'm like, I'm out. Turned out that was a secret shopper. And Pioneer used to employ secret shoppers. I got, and I'll bet you, I should probably call him and find out if this is still a thing. He sold it, but he's still got connections in there. But I received the worst review that Pioneer Petroleums had ever received, and my friend's dad had to fire me. They told him, as a franchisee, you have to fire that guy. So that was it for me. I was literally slammed the hood and said, "Fuck this! You're fucking insufferable." And that was it. That was it. That was the last of my petroleum distribution engineering. Was right there. I had to go.
I've been fired honestly 20 times in my life.
Really, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah, some of them were maybe half of them were just oh, clearly you should have been fired, and then a bunch of them were clearly that was unfair, and then whatever. I don't know. There was so many variety of people firing me. I don't even know where to start. It's just restaurants. Restaurants are the worst because you have temperamental owners.
Yeah.
And sometimes the owners will walk in after 6 hours of madness, where if it wasn't for you, that kitchen would have fallen apart immediately. Because I used to run Ryan. I'm certain you're a better cook than I am, but I've cooked for years,
I worked
right?
in kitchens
in bars,
yeah,
right?
same here.
And so
same.
so quesadilla type level, of
Yeah,
shit, right?
yeah.
And sometimes you get to be
Pub
creative,
snacks,
right?
yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. But I ran a one-man kitchen on a Queen Street bar in the Beaches in Toronto called My Place. And it was it could only serve at one time 12 tables, but still that's 12 tables.
Yeah, no shit for one person.
It's a lot.
I was washing dishes. I was prepping. I literally everything.
Fuck that.
And the prep at the beginning of the night was key to everything. I had to predict. I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck. I'm like, why don't we just cut the menu down to this, that, and the other thing, and that's it. And we don't offer anything else on the menu except those 3 things, so that we can have a night where I'm not gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
And then the owners would walk in after that. After you clean everything, the last dish is there. You spent an hour and a half doing it after the last meal that you put, and he walks in and he literally says, "Hey, Cole Hauser, is back there, and he wants a burger with fried onions. You mind doing that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking do that." You know what I mean? Why do I care if it's Cole Hauser? He's an actor. I don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
right? Sure, he was on Good Will Hunting for 2 seconds, right?
Ooh.
I don't care.
I think he plays
He's been on another
Jughead now,
show.
doesn't he?
He actually has been in a couple good movies, and he's played a couple good roles. I'm not even trying to
Not
front,
back then, though.
But
No.
But I cleaned up. This was 2010.
Yeah.
But I cleaned up everything.
Back then, that bitch was basic.
And the grill was off, and it was just such bad form.
Yeah.
It was honestly because you know who else would ask you to do that at that time after you do that? A young server that's been there for a week.
Yeah.
They would ask you, and you're like, "No, stupid, the fucking shit's closed."
We've all seen the film Waiting, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Right.
accurate.
It's,
I gotta tell you.
it's
Very accurate.
startlingly accurate. There's
Ryan, have you worked in a lot of kitchens?
Yeah. I had friends
Yeah.
that owned restaurants, and it was never on a pro level, but I did my fair share of deep frying and everything. Like you say, it's like those one-man shows, right? And then some nights it's like, oh, we're gonna do a 2-for-1 wing night. It's like with one guy in the kitchen, you fucks, So
Yeah, thanks a lot.
yeah, it was some.
I'm gonna blanch 18 pounds of wings now. You fucking
Learned a lot though, man. It was great. And then I learned that you shouldn't throw ice cubes in deep fryers when somebody's standing next to them.
no, don't.
Learned
do
that. Yeah. I learned that when you're working with a helper, that is 5'5" not to swing freezer doors open, and
Right.
knock them out cold on the floor and have ambulances show up because it's bad for business apparently.
Yeah,
Bad
it's not
reflex.
good.
His elbow should have
Yeah.
been smashed, not his head. That's not your fault, right?
I know. That's what I like. If you not seen that movie,
If you walk beside a freezer and you know the door opens the way it opens,
have you not?
Don't walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
have you not seen The Founder? Like when they did the choreography for McDonald's workers?
Yeah.
You're not with me in step?
Yeah.
They get the fuck out of my kitchen. So,
If it blocks an entire laneway when it opens, then you got to tell your boss that it's probably a violation of something because that's you can't have it
That's
like
right.
that. Like people always put shelves there or something, so you have to go like this when you want to go by with the things open.
it was literally a place of, hey, smell the chicken wings. Okay, one more day. It was one of those places. So yeah, you learn a lot when you work in kitchens, and you know what you learn. The first thing is don't eat in a fucking restaurant.
Yeah,
You know what?
Yeah.
The amount of butter that you use in the kitchen, the amount of deep fried everything, and the combination of the bread having butter and cheese, and then the deep fried thing and whatever the fuck, and it's just it's very bad for you. Very bad for you.
Yeah, no, it was fun though. I loved it. Like you had we'd have DJs out and they would get busy, and it was a fun job. Like it was actually like. I wish you could make more money doing it because I would do that rather than what I do now. Right? So
It's a
just
travesty
not
that you
enough money in
shouldn't.
it.
no,
It's a travesty. Restaurants are not run properly. The business model of a restaurant,
Horrible.
I think COVID proved that it's hanging by a thread always.
always.
Especially in cities, right?
Oh, yeah.
The margins are so fucking thin.
Yep.
Like I think that I know this sounds like really socialist, Scandinavian kind of country idea, which I don't think is that bad. But like the idea of imagining a future where restaurants are places where the people that go there bring their own shit for the food to sit on. You know what I mean? And the restaurants have like systems in place that donate food to freeze it and donate it to homeless shelters or something. And it's a system that kind of sort of works to feed itself because you can't be out of business for a week and then lose your business. That's fucking crazy. Right? And it happens to everybody.
It's actually not a bad idea.
One of the big issues with the restaurant industry in North America is that it's largely based on the sale of alcohol because the food, there's zero margin. So the alcohol is where they make their money.
Yep.
Whereas in Europe, it's the other way around. The alcohol is dirt cheap.
Yeah.
But the food is where they actually have a good margin built in. And you also got to remember, you can make it a career in Europe, where I do know career servers in this country and in this city. But it's people who have been really dedicated and have a loyal following of clients. And, because in Europe, you can work your whole life as a server or a waiter or waitress, whatever title you want to put on it, because they pay them a decent wage.
You can call it a career server here, but it's not really a career.
Not like
let's
it is
face
there.
it. It's not a livable.
And the back of the house and the front of the house, the wage gap is stupid.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Like the back of that. Honestly, if you're the main grill guy in the back of a busy bar, there's no way you should be getting paid less than any server, including tips.
Oh,
That's
for sure.
ridiculous. And that's the way it is everywhere.
Yeah, it's brutal.
There's it's the veteran server that nails that place. My buddy was working at one of the Dukes, and he was there for 12 years or something like that. And they kept on asking him to be manager. And he's like, why? So I can cut my pay?
Yeah.
It's true.
Why would I do that?
I have a
So
coworker.
they never let him go, but
Coworker who worked for a number of years at a big chain restaurant here in Ottawa. They have them all over Canada. Actually, I'm not going to say the name, but
Why?
she,
We don't know who it is,
well,
so you can say the name.
it's Boston Pizza. Don't
Yeah.
worry
No,
about it.
no, because they
Okay,
were a
Montana's.
client of mine for a long time. So I don't want to badmouth
Jackasses.
anybody publicly. But she was, as a server, her last year there, she earned $90,000. And that was 3 years ago as a server, working 20 hours a week. They offered her a manager's position. Now, not the GM, but an assistant management position. You go on salary. It's great. You get benefits. She goes, oh, okay, what's the starting salary? $45,000. She goes, are you out of your mind? You think I want to work 60 hours a week for half the money? I work 20 right now and I pull in 90. No, I'm out of here. She quit.
Yeah, I just told that story. And also,
you?
20. There's no way. Yeah, I did. Well, basically, there's no way that she worked 20 hours a week. And
No,
made
she
90
didn't.
grand a year.
That's a bold-faced lie. If it was an actual,
that
No,
is
they-
she's lying to
$81
you.
beers.
She's
No,
lying
no.
to you unless
No.
she's
No, because
I'll take a Zima.
I know the
that's
numbers.
$141.
I know the
Yeah.
numbers at this restaurant. I know the numbers that they do. They were a client of mine. I used to take care of all their AV services. I know the numbers they did. They set the record in Canada the first year they were open.
What company is it?
It's a big steakhouse style company, and it's not the Keg, but it's similar to that.
A Canyon Creek.
No,
Ruth Christie.
no,
Or Chris, or whatever the fuck it is.
He'll never tell.
Joey.
Hey, wait, you're not capable of lying, so we could keep getting it. If we nail it and you say no,
I
you're
just
capable
told
of
you.
lying. Oh,
Joey.
Joey.
What?
Joey.
What's Joey?
That's the name of the restaurant.
That's a chain.
Joey.
that isn't.
Yes.
No one knows Joey.
What's a
They
Joey?
have them all over Toronto.
Yes.
Toronto?
Toronto. Toronto.
What are you from, America?
Yeah, I'm from America.
Jesus Christ.
They go from coast to
What's going on?
coast.
Are you malfunctioning tonight, Paul?
Yeah, a
Is there
little bit.
malfunctioning
Well,
happening?
I'm not drinking right now, so yeah, a little bit of
Maybe that's the
malfunction.
malfunction.
I need some alcohol in my bloodstream or blood in my alcohol stream. Either way, I'm still not 100%. I'll make it. I'll make it.
Oh, things are getting funny. Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard of
Take
it.
another.
I've never heard of a Joey.
Really?
Joey, oh yeah,
Never.
they're nice.
Okay.
Think of the
Is
Keg,
that like a
but
short
nicer.
form for something else?
Yeah, think of the Keg, but
that
much
like a-
nicer.
Like,
Fucking Google Joey's
Yeah.
Steakhouse and see what the fuck.
And all the servers they hire tend to be models, and they train them how to serve.
It's the ultimate in casual dining. Casual dining. Well, it's for Casual Friday. We should do it. We should do a joint thing.
open the menu
Don't-
up.
Don't say anything
James,
bad. Don't say anything bad.
Tell me prices on that menu.
They're not outrageous at all, actually. They're
So
not.
then, how are you making 90 grand a year in tips?
Because
You're
place
making
seats like-
working
What is-
20
what,
hours a
Barlow,
week. You're
Chanel-
making 10 grand in
Barlow,
salary, so
Chanel,
you're making
Crowfoot, or Eau
$80,000 in
Claire?
tips. What else is
place
she doing?
seats 400.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
It's
she,
a
and how many
big
people does
restaurant.
she serve?
Oh, they get people in and out of there quickly, man. Trust me. And the way they do it is so
Ain't
you
buying
take
it.
the, so I'm telling you,
It's like $20
you
average
will
for
have
smalls.
4 people waiting on you for your meal. So she can run 20 tables.
So you're
at a
splitting
time.
the tip between 4 people. Okay.
No, because you have servers
Dude.
who from the bar who will bring you your food. You have all the food runners and the drink runners. She just takes the service, comes back to check on you periodically. But you have all these bar runners and serve staff that come up to make sure everything's.
Are you
doing good.
certain this wasn't a movie? Are you certain this wasn't a movie that you saw?
Yeah.
I know the place.
Because-
It's my coworker.
she
I
add
know
a
the place
zero?
well. No,
Yeah.
that was her
Yeah.
third
I'm
year.
a little
there.
concerned about the facts of this
Yeah.
story because of all things.
Is she
considered,
selling cocaine in the bathroom? Be honest.
Nothing like that.
Now listen, can I give you a little bit of advice? You don't have to get married to the 20 hours thing to make the story still legit.
Well, it's-
and making the point you want.
She could have been
I think
working
you
more
may
than
want to
that.
rethink.
Scheduled for 20
That's
hours.
right.
Okay, she was scheduled for 20 hours. Oftentimes, as you know, in the restaurant industry, your shift will run longer because they'll ask you to let another one. Could you work a double shift? But on average, she was 20 hours a week.
I have to go park my Rolls Royce, guys. Excuse me for a second.
Okay, let me know how that goes.
We just busting your balls,
I
Paul.
know.
I don't know what accent this is.
It's,
Really dumb.
sort of a North England.
Like a guy-
North,
Yeah, I don't know.
Caddy.
Is it St. Swimming's Day already?
Like, what's that one? Is that like Southern England? I don't know. I don't even know where anything is. Tra-la-la-la-la. I did. I think that we should. Oh wait, I did this. I'll send that next week actually. But I did this in rhyme, entirely in British accent about being like a really rich person and not caring about anything but my richness. And I sent it to a British person who I know, Richard Marsh actually. And he still, even though it was rapping and it was a British accent, because it was rapping and he was in a cult until like 6 days ago, he didn't understand any of it. And I'm like, I made it for you. Like, it's British. Because you're like, I don't understand anything. So I was like, hello, blah, 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 you know, and I was like, I did it in British. And he's like, yeah, but the rapping part, I just didn't get it. He didn't even know hip hop existed like until like an hour ago or whatever, right? Like, it was, you know what I mean? It's funny
you.
'cause
You. Didn't you kill my brother?
Being friends with Richard Marsh makes me realize how often I reference pop culture in my jokes.
Because he doesn't get any of
Because
it.
he doesn't, and he says so. He's like, I don't know, James, if I have to remind you that I don't like know any pop culture references, because I'll do like Sopranos things, or like my go-to sometimes is like, what is it, the first hole I dug, right, or something, and he'd be like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, good fantasy, right? Like, come on, just give me something, But he doesn't get any of them. It's hilarious. It's actually kind of weirdly refreshing because he's still a good conversationalist and everything. It's not like, but it shows you how much our brains are filled with like
Pop
media
culture
memories,
junk. Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
I would
yeah.
call them,
Well, it's like he was transported from back in time and gets dropped in here and has no clue as to what the hell's going on.
Yeah, he's like, I told him, I'm like, you're like Truman's World, dude. It's
Like
amazing.
Robin Williams in Jumanji. What year is this?
Yeah, that's right. Why are there no animals chasing me in this bizarre plot twist of this stupid fucking movie? I hated that movie so much.
So fucking
I thought that even as a kid or however old I was when it first came out, I was like, "This is."
Have you
fucking
shown it to your
stupid.
kids though? Because
No,
it was
I don't think so.
great.
I don't want to run the risk of them liking it.
Can we watch Jumanji again?
I've
Dude, I'm gonna let
watched
my
the new one.
kids. Oh yeah, really? Is it good? Is that The Rock?
Yeah, The Rock's. There's two of them. They made two of them. It has its moments. Jack Black and The Rock. I mean, how can you say no to that, right? And Kevin
Does
Hart.
it look more real than the ridiculous?
Oh yeah. Well, of course, it's modern CGI. You got to remember when that first movie came out. That was the '90s, dude. Computer technology's come a long way since then.
You know what I watched? I thought was actually like not as bad as I thought it would be. Like it was entertaining. I thought that movie where The Rock plays like sort of like a god that was like cursed. Adam? No,
Black Adam.
Is it Black
Yeah.
Adam? That was actually kind of dope.
I liked
didn't
it.
mind that. I thought I was gonna hate it, and I was like, okay,
If I ever meet him, I'm actually gonna call him It's nice to meet you, The Rock. I'm not gonna lose the. Everything's gonna be The Rock. I think
The
it'd
Rock.
be really fun.
Hello,
The Rock.
He's got to be the world. He's got to be the world leader on every wives hall pass.
Oh God, yeah.
Like he's the hall pass leader on the planet. I would say.
Well, he has Canadian citizenship too. His father was from Nova Scotia.
Really?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Rocky.
He went from hall pass to like passport.
Rocky Johnson was
Saw how
his.
we got there, right? It's like a
was his
Kevin
father.
Bacon thing.
Jesus Christ.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Who would you pick for your hall pass? Let's see if we can converse about that.
Well, I checked their passport first.
I'm like, I think The Rock might be number
I need to
one on
make-
the hall pass. And someone's like, I had a library
Yeah,
card.
I need to make sure he can clear customs when he's coming to fuck my wife. Excuse me.
Can you fill out these insurance forms before you go on with the rock show?
I'm a very prepared cuck.
I gave The Rock a hall pass.
Is the warranty included?
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit.
This is a public service announcement.
Mr.
Hall passes are now free.
Mr. The Rock, please come to the white courtesy phone. Mr. The
Yeah,
Rock.
the only hall
Rock.
pass conversation we've ever had was what's her name? The one from Suicide Squad.
Oh, Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. I said that's my hall pass.
But she has to be wearing the
But listen,
Suicide
I said
Squad.
Margot Robbie, and I said that's my hall pass to Ashley, and she said, "Well, that's funny because it's mine too."
That's Harley Quinn. She's got to be in the Harley Quinn makeup, right, with the baseball bat.
Yeah. That's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
though. I mean, because you never know.
You never know.
You never fucking know in
Then-
this world, honestly. I kissed Tiffany. Do you remember Tiffany the pop
Yes.
star?
Really?
I made out with Tiffany in 2005.
Good
in
on you,
Miami.
brother.
Oh.
Just a quick little fucking like 15-second kissy thing, and that was it.
Did you say, I think
But
we're
the
alone
weird
now?
part is,
Nah.
no,
Could have
I didn't,
been.
But thanks for interrupting.
Should have said
No,
that,
no.
though. Hey, Tiffany,
I
think
interviewed
we're
her as
alone
part
now.
of. We weren't alone now. We were. There was people.
Paul, have you
everywhere.
talked to her on
We were-
Twitter too?
You saw her
No, I
standing
have
there?
not. No. Well, she was just.
She made $9 million
Yes.
last year for doing 10
Her passport
shows.
expires in 2026.
Okay.
Her social insurance number or social security. number.
She's,
Anyways, I interviewed her. I interviewed her in Miami for a part of Winter Music Conference, and she was fighting with her boyfriend, who I just called Gaston, even though I didn't know his name, right? Because he was French.
Did
and
he
had
have a
like
twirly
big
mustache? Or
He looked like the guy from what is it, Little Mermaid?
Beauty and the
like,
Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. Plus, yeah, that's right. That guy.
That guy.
I'm especially good
That
at
fucking guy.
decorating.
And so we're sitting there later, like I'm sitting down in like a booth, and she sits down with him, and they just like he's like or whatever, and she's just like, oh. And she turns and she does this to him, to his face, like puts his hand kind of up, doesn't hit him or push him, but just puts it right there, and he just walks away and shakes her head. And drinks come to the table, and I just slide one over to her, and I was like, "You want that?" Like no problem. And she was like, "That was a good interview. You asked questions that aren't like the same as the radio stations around here." And I'm like, "I'm not a radio station, and I'm from Canada. Maybe that's why." And then we just like we started talking, and then I know she only did it to piss off Gaston. She's like, "Well, anyways, thank you." And she goes to lean in to give me a kiss on the cheek, and I just kind of go to do kind of the air kiss thing almost because I kind of want to see what guy's doing. And she just takes my mouth and just like, and she just starts making out with me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep kissing. Yeah. This is my brain when it's happening. I'm just gonna keep kissing Tiffany until Gaston knocks me the fuck out. That was it.
Because I got a story here.
Good way to play it.
Yeah,
That's
and
hilarious.
then she stopped, and she's just like, "Nice meeting you, James." And I'm like, "Nice meeting you too, Tiffany." She walks away, and Gaston doesn't even. He just goes like this. He smiles and goes and shakes his head, and then goes, just shrugs. Walks away. Wasn't even ever going to knock me out. He probably have a threesome if I suggested it.
What do you mean, Tiffany? It's kind of cute, though. So, okay, you mentioned her, so I need to ask then, Tiffany or Debbie Gibson? Because that was the battle back then.
Oh.
Tiffany, because I kissed her. I don't. Otherwise, it's like chicken pox or measles.
I got a thing for gingers, so yeah, definitely Tiffany.
Ryan?
I have a thing for gingers too. It's called hate. Sorry.
Ryan?
Gaston. I picked Gaston.
Is he the lucky Oliver?
He's
What's
Lucky
that called
Pierre.
Lucky Pierre.
Pierre.
The lucky Gaston. We should change that. We should do a Gaston. Make up a Gaston one, Ryan. You're good at those.
All right.
Because it's got gas, so you know there's going to be some sort of
Gutsy Gaston.
It's already halfway written.
Gallivanting Gaston.
I saw her recently, and she was doing a live show somewhere, and she was very drunk on stage and couldn't sing, and I thought she was going to fall off. Tiffany, I thought she was going to fall off the stage. Yeah, she
would. I'd catch her and we'd kiss.
We would embrace in front of Gaston.
Nah, she would have crushed you. She was not looking healthy.
Fuck
She
you,
was not
Gaston.
looking healthy at all.
She's
I
mine
was
now.
sad.
Kicking the snot out of everyone I talk about, Paul.
It was sad. She
Oh, you
was
kissed
drunk
her?
out of
I almost saw her die. How about that?
Yeah, right.
Dark again.
She had a blood alcohol of 0.2.
She was looking haggard. Why would you want to kiss that, you fuck?
She couldn't even get home. She lost her passport.
She re-recorded. I think
Her library
We're
card
Alone now.
had vomit on it. It's crazy.
She did a hard rockin' version of I Think We're Alone Now about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was awesome. She looked amazing in the video. She was looking great. And Jen, I'm not fat shaming her. She was
Don't read the
sloppy
comments.
drunk.
Don't worry about that.
She was sloppy drunk, and I was like, it was pleasant to see because I thought, oh, she's going to hurt herself. Like I was worried about her, genuinely about her.
Did you check up on Twitter with her the next day, make sure she was okay?
No, I've never spoken to her in my life. But it was concerning. Like, I mean, it was like one of her handlers should have said, don't go on stage. Like, she was really drunk. She could hardly stand up.
What year was this?
Like 6 months ago.
Oh,
like recent.
Floyd Bumpy.
Shamon.
Get your sham now.
Oh my God! Wouldn't that mean that you're polishing fats?
Yes.
Fat Jam Wow.
Fat Jam Wow.
You'll love my nuts.
Oh no, that's the other thing.
You're gonna love my nuts.
That was the
top thing.
The slap chop.
Oh,
That guy had so much success, the slap chop guy, that he kind of morphed into Carrot Top. His face, like,
Yeah, but did you notice? Did you ever look at him and
pointy
think
face?
it's Butthead? He looked like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead. He had that sharp, pointy face like Butthead did.
as he got older, yeah, I think you remember Willie Mays, the guy, his predecessor. Guy died of an exploded heart from cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
The guy was a massive coke addict.
Billy
Willie Mays
yeah,
here for
Yeah.
what was it, that sealing that for that wasn't it
Liquid
no,
luster?
that seal.
No, he cut the bottom out of a boat and sealed it, put a screen door in the bottom of a boat and sprayed this sealant.
Oh,
on
or
it.
OxyClean. Willie Mays here for
OxyClean,
OxyClean. It's a white powder. I can do
I think-
3 for days.
Wrestling on the weekends at the Civic Auditorium.
Didn't he die on a flight? Like his heart exploded or something like that because he was coked out of his.
Yeah, he had a massive coronary on a flight to fucking paradise, apparently.
Yeah. Well, that would explain why he was always yelling so loud.
Yeah.
I think he probably had a pretty happy life, though.
Oh, I've no doubt.
All
No doubt.
things considered, right? I don't know. Would you rather live to be 85 and be riddled with diseases, or have fun for the next 10 years and then die? You know, really,
It's no
the
choice
last
there. Right?
quarter of people's lives are awful.
Yeah.
They're really bad.
Oh, it is Billy. Sorry, Ashley's right. It's Billy Mays.
Billy Mays, yeah.
Yeah,
Billy
Willie
Mays.
Mays is a baseball
Willie
player.
Mays.
Yeah, I was saying,
like,
it's
did
not
he
a black
just
baseball
steal?
player.
It's amazing.
I was confused at first. I'm like, I don't remember Willie Mays doing that.
He was famous for the ice cream scoop catcher, the catch underhand kind of grab.
The over the
We
shoulder.
used to do that. I got in trouble. I got benched once because I did it behind the back in center field. I just caught a pop fly behind the back.
You got benched for that?
But I was one of the best players. I was leadoff and I played center field, and always batted really well, and I was fast. I stole a lot of bases and shit. So I was a little cocky, right? I didn't do that often. I think that might have been I've done that twice in my career, but both times though, the coach rightfully was like, "Get off the fucking field! Stop doing that."
No, it's baseball. It's a manager. Don't you remember the George Carlin bit? Fall is a man's sport where you have to penetrate the zone to score a touchdown. In baseball, you get to go home. Football, you have a coach. In baseball, you have a manager. That's why football's a sport and baseball's a game. But I love baseball. I'm a
I don't
Blue
mind
Jays
saying
fan.
baseball's a game. That's fine. The hardest thing to do in all sports is to hit a baseball.
Oh, it's
'cause you're hitting
ridiculously
something
hard.
round with something round.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's the-
ridiculously hard, and
it's
especially
not
with the
coming
pitchers
in a
today.
straight predictable path. It's doing
Yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird. I saw
Weird.
you see the physics of pitching. And there's things like the rising fastball.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's an optical illusion because of the way that the ball comes at you,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you step to go swing, if it maintains a trajectory, which is almost impossible, I think, because momentum, once it starts to slow, trajectory is automatically impacted. But it just creates an optical illusion that it's rising, because when you're stepping, you're kind of going lower and it's maintained. It's weird, but yeah, it's interesting. And they did this documentary. I think it was it Nolan Ryan? Said that he probably threw more like 120 miles per hour.
Oh, really? That fast?
Really? Yeah.
They had because of the way that they measured speed was incorrect, because by the time the ball got to where it was going, they apparently they would the speed would be when the ball hit the glove, I think.
Yeah.
But since you're the batter, the speed should be based on when you're
Swinging.
swing,
Right.
when it passes you,
Right.
right? And so that difference itself was just a huge amount. But I could be getting a lot of that wrong. I don't remember. It was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, but I have to.
I'm a baseball.
I have to
guy.
agree with you with baseball because I play tennis. So I have a racket in hand. I got a ball coming at me, and I can hit that ball. But on baseball, when I play baseball, I just swing at everything, and all you have to do is throw
Hope you hit it.
three
Right.
pitches at me, and I'm done. Because I never connect, and I swing at everything. It's
Well,
just,
and-
You can tell someone hasn't played
Is
baseball.
that a euphemism?
title of my sex tape.
Swing at everything.
Throw it. 3 balls is all it takes. I swing at everything. Starring Douglas.
We had a banquet after the end of every season. Over to you, Paul.
I still think trying to hit a 105-mile-an-hour fastball is next to impossible to do. And
Her name was Julie Owens in high school. That was a 105-mile-an-hour fastball.
What?
Talking about swinging and not
And you
hitting.
hit that? Is that what you say? You swing and you hit
did
that?
you hit it?
Julie
Did you hit it?
Owens in your high school threw 105 miles per hour. Is that what you said? Just
No, I was talking about Douglas's euphemism on how he swings at everything but only hits 3.
a seeing eye single.
Okay, all right. I think that's my cue, guys. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. Good to see you. Thanks for having me by.
Take care, buddy.
Hi,
Cheers, buddy.
Paul. See you, nice single.
Right.
Oh, man.
We were a little hard on Paul tonight.
What?
You got
Well, I was. I don't know.
That wasn't hard.
But just friendly ball busting. That's what I do with my like my great. I don't know if you guys saw my the podcast I did with my buddy Adam Can from he lives in Korea, but like that's all we do is bust each other. That's literally our language is ball busting. It's not English. It's ball busting.
Hello,
Hello, Melissa.
Hello. How are you?
You're echoey.
Here we
Am I-
go. Oh, there's me.
Try again.
I love my own voice, but not like that.
Yeah, you got to fix that. I can't do anything about that. I don't know what it is, but you got to fix it. It's probably headphones, Danielle. If you have headphones with like buds with like a little mic on it or something like that, because the mic is picking up your speakers, whatever you're doing. So if that's happening,
It's like we've never talked about that before.
well, I don't blame people. Restream is a little grumpy, and I'm not going to bust anyone's balls for not being good at tech, except for guests that say they understand it and then don't, clearly, right? But like,
You're getting the boot.
I can't get mad at the DOC. He's my homie now. No, I'm just kidding. We're not homies. Like,
You guys are best friends now.
I wish I was his homie. DOC and James just move in together because I need a place to stay because my wife kicks me out. Like, James, where you staying? I'm staying with the DOC, man. I don't know.
I heard you
Living the
used to
dream,
serve
baby.
a 12 top. You cook
Yeah.
good. You can stay
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I do, and I rap. And by the way, Ryan, I'm gonna call Ryan. Ryan, dude, Tupac's alive, man.
It's right here.
Like,
I just had Huevo Ranchero with him. It was great.
That'd be so funny. That could happen. You never know.
Yeah.
Life is weird. Life is. What is the craziest thing that's like ever happened to you, Douglas? like where it was like, where it was like, what are the odds on this ever happening? This is fucking insane. Like what are those stories? Do you have any of those?
just a weird thing when I was a kid. I remember I was 5 one night, and I was sleeping, and there was a shelf over the bed above my head where we had like a small, like maybe like a 14-inch black and white TV that was sort of plugged in, and I woke up
Sort of?
one time, sort of,
Okay. Sort
Yeah.
of plugged in.
So just halfway
Yeah.
in.
Like soaking? Was the plug soaking in the outlet? Just kind of there? Not all the way
Was
in?
a prong bent so it made it difficult to insert it?
You know, in 1967, they invented the plug with 3 prongs.
I had a gerbil once.
yeah, I was a bunch of bitches.
So anyway, sorry.
Kick him while he's gone. That's right. The casual.
The shelf's above my head, and there's this 13, 14-inch TV on it. And I just wake up in the middle of the night, and I do not know how it happened, but the shelf is no longer on the wall, and the TV is at the foot of the bed instead of having fallen on my head.
How did it get all the way?
Maybe it did fall and rolled and everything, and you were just like, "Well, I'm really."
It would explain a lot.
Now you're gay.
That's what happens.
That's what.
TV fell on my head in my sleep, and now
born that way, my ass.
Now,
there
okay.
you go.
Jesus.
10 years later, gay.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, let's drop a TV on him and see if he goes straight. That'd be crazy.
Like falling in the well and getting kicked by a mule.
Yep. That's the weirdest
crazy.
one. It was
That is
freaky
really
weird.
weird. Like, how
Yeah.
did it? How
And
did
apparently,
it make it? Like, what?
There was no one else in the house.
there were other people in the house, but yeah, nobody heard it. My mom wasn't there at the time, and apparently on the very same night, my mom, she said that she's a very nervous passenger, and she was riding with someone in a van, and she was reading the paper while it was happening, and apparently, sometimes when you drive too close to a car and you scrape the car all the way,
Yeah.
apparently that happened, and she didn't notice until after it all finished. And when it finished, like, she dropped her paper and then picked it up, and that was she was out that night on the same night that happened to me.
This is probably the funniest comment I've ever seen on the show. Just right here.
Gay suddenly.
Gay hashtag gay suddenly. Hashtag gay suddenly. Like, what the?
Suddenly fag.
Why is it doing?
Because it's
Why is
scrolling,
it doing
'cause
this?
people are
Guys, shut up!
commenting,
I'm
so
trying to do the thing.
Gay suddenly.
Stop saying things. God damn you!
Oh my
It's
god!
like the died suddenly hashtag, but gay suddenly. See, it's not. I can't. I swear to God. Stop fucking talking, all of you. Jeez, you guys don't shut the fuck up, do you? full of fucking opinions and fucking laughy faces and skulls. Stop it. God damn it. Anyway,
I don't even know how to scroll up or down with the chat. The thing gets so thin. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, oh my god. Like, I don't even know how to.
Linda, that was the best comment I've ever seen. Just so you know. In the
shit.
with the hashtag died. So that was perfect. That was well played. Well played. Good for you. What
the fuck?
That's crazy though. Like two of those things happen in the same night like that.
Yep.
Like just so awkward and weird.
Very, very, very weird.
Ryan, give me one. Give me one, Ryan. Give me like one of those, like, I don't have no idea how to explain this story.
I don't know. I don't know
We
if
all
I
have
have
one, don't
anything good. I really don't. I don't think I've got anything that's crazy like that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. I'm boring that way. Everything's just been kind of like status quo.
Maybe it's kind of an.
It is, and I'm sure
it's too broad. It's too broad.
going to be one of those. We're going to get off the show. I'm like, oh fuck, you know what? I should have told that. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I have one. I think.
All right, what is it?
I have a bunch. I think, but the one that just popped in my head now. I'm not sure if I told the story. It might have been a year ago. But I was living up here. It was like 27. No, must have been 2016. I guess just before the Trump election. And I was going to do a segment on Yes TV. It was called, and it was in the same building as. Wait for that. It was in the same building as the CBC building, and I got there really early, and I went to Joe Badali's, I think, and yeah, Joe Badali's.
Okay.
And I was sitting at the bar. I'm one of those guys that likes to sit at the bar with like a little bowl of pasta and a glass of wine, or I used to anyways, and have lunch like that, and talk to the bartender and shit. And and this guy was sitting beside me, and he said something like, Canadians are so nice or something. Without looking at him, I'm like, I sort of leaned over a little bit, and I'm like, nah, we're just really passive aggressive, right? Like, you know what I mean? And we started talking. So we had lunch together for like I was like 90 minutes or something. And so he was this black dude from Maryland who I think just finished law school or something like that. And anyways, he was down for a bachelor party.
Have a good one. Okay, sorry.
And he was down for this bachelor party, and that was pretty much it. And you know, it was a good conversation. Like we kind of like, you know, we connected on talking about hip hop actually. And then I did the segment, and then after I did the segment, I got picked up by my sister, and we had to go and drop off her son, my nephew, to her ex-husband, right? And where we stopped was this place on College Street. And there was a nightclub in the middle floor that we sat on their steps, and then his office was above it. I swear to God, this story is going somewhere. Later on that night, at like 2 a.m, there was a news story that I can't remember what network that came on that said that there was a guy murdered at the club that we were sitting on the steps of, and the guy that got murdered was the guy I had lunch with at Joe Badali's. I swear to God. I called the police, and because they were like, they wanted to know if anyone had to assist in the investigation, if they knew about his whereabouts that day and all that. And I called them, and I'm like, I had lunch with him at Joe Badali's. And he's like, yeah, we had a manager call from Joe Badali's and already say that he was there. So did you know him beforehand? Like, they asked me 2 or 3 questions.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, that was, I still get goosebumps.
Did you follow up on that? Like, did they ever find the guy that did it, or?
They did. I actually talked to his family because I wrote something about it, and then his family contacted me, and said that his mom like framed it and put it on the wall. In their house or whatever. But because she's very Christian, and so she gave me a role that I probably don't really have, but she, you know, as sort of like, you know, a last angel type thing. That's you know, her kind of thing. But you know, it was, to me, it was just like the most improbable fluky thing of all time. Like, you know, I don't know, like so you have lunch with a guy, and then like an hour and a half later or whatever, you visit the scene of his eventual death later that night.
That's fucking wild.
That's
weird. Crazy.
That was the weirdest one, probably.
Mine's a bit. I thought of one while you were talking, and it's funny. I know this is gonna sound hard to believe, but I've got a bit of a big mouth, and I do say some horrible things to people sometimes. And I have a problem with filtering things that come out of my yap sometimes, okay?
This is news.
So, do you guys remember back?
Breaking news.
I think it was around, probably around 99, 2000.
I got a detention.
Behind. I renewed my passport. I was sitting in the passport office getting my.
Sometimes the DMV has magazines that are long expired.
But I read an article that day in that magazine. No, I
found a coffee coupon on my way out of Byway.
Found my favorite cologne in one of those scratchy ads inside.
It's such a broad area of jokes. It's like you just don't say anything. Is it boring? It works.
My new favorite impression is my good friend Paul. That's just it from now on. I'm sorry. I love you guys, but that's it. That's no more. Not doing anybody anymore. So it was like 99, 2000. Do you remember Behind the Green Door? It was the movie that was about those porn brothers.
I was gonna say, was it starring my molester?
Remember the guys? Yeah, what the hell were? I can't remember their names. They were the so and so brothers, but they were like the kingpins of like porn, Deep Throat, that kind of thing. Shit. I'm sure somebody in the comments will know who I'm talking about. But anyway, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez played in this movie, and they shot it in Hamilton before it was torn down. They shot it at the Tivoli Theater, which was an old heritage building. That's
is it Gerardo Rocco or Gerard Demino?
The something brothers. They were known as the brothers.
Okay.
They were porn brothers, and they were porn producers, and the two of them played the main characters in the movie, and we were down. My buddy Paul and I. It was so funny. So we were downtown, and the set is everywhere, all over, like right in the middle of downtown, and it was open but not. Like there was like sectioned off spots, and they had craft services in a parking lot with trailers and food and everything. And the security guy that was there was a friend of ours, and he had got a contract job. So we're like, hey, let's go and go say hi to so and so and see if we can see any like cool stars or whatever. We were like 19, 20 years old. So we went in, and he ended up getting us in like where he got us like these passes where we could go in. We were eating food from the table, and we looked like we belonged. He's like, just fucking blend in, and nobody will ask any questions. There's so many people here. They're not even going to know who the fuck you are. It's fine. Okay. So just as the afternoon was rolling along, here comes Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez in 80s style suits, like with the fucking 3 buttons, the big fucking, it was, they looked like
the thin tie.
They fell out of 1980s. And they had horseshoe pattern baldness. We weren't sure if it was makeup or like, it actually looked so real that you couldn't tell if it was a skull cap with the hair or whatever the fuck it was. We couldn't tell. And Paul, my buddy Paul, is a very, very sweet, innocent dude. Like, just fucking friendly, just starstruck. Sees Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez is walking first. He says, Emilio, hi. And he's like, oh, hey, how you doing? And walks on. Charlie walks by. He says to Charlie Sheen, he says, Charlie, holy shit, that looks good. Is that real? Is that real? And Charlie Sheen turns and looks at my friend Paul and says, what do you fucking think? And keeps walking. Instinct. I just turned. What do I think? I think you're a fucking pretentious piece of fucking shit, you cocksucker. Who the fuck are you? Like that Hamilton came out right then and there. The whole craft services screams to a halt. Right? And everybody's staring at me. Paul is shrinking. My friend from security is doing one of these at the gate. He's like, I can't fucking believe I let these fucking guys in. We were immediately escorted off the property.
So it's like Charlie Sheen. That would be like my manager at the telemarketing office.
I was yelling. Who the fuck do I think you're a fucking piece of shit, you cocksucker. Every single fucking thing that came out of my mouth. Oh, everybody in downtown heard me. I swear.
You're like the bleacher fan in Exhibition Stadium.
Yeah. That's the guy. I was the guy. It was.
Do you remember how stupid that was? Like, for some reason, Exhibition Stadium didn't figure it out until like the year before they left that they could put stands in the outfield in like right field. It just like there was no stands there. It just they kept the football stands there and didn't add any of the stands in the middle for like years.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing? Like American ballparks were doing it already by then, you know? Like
1972. Oh shit! So I was off of my years when that movie was out. Anybody get their names? Did that come up?
Artie and Jim Mitchell.
The Mitchell brothers. That was it.
Yeah.
It was the Mitchell brothers. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, fuck.
The
Great movie though.
The movie was called Rated X.
I thought it was called Behind the Green Door. Maybe that was with the set. They just called it on set. That was the name of the movie. They didn't actually have the name out. But this is like before the days of IMDb and all that shit. You couldn't look anything up. You didn't know.
Yeah.
You just knew because of a buddy of ours was there, and we knew who was there because of that, right? So.
Do you remember how helpless we were pre-internet? Like when it came to any type of information, anything. Like it's like, what do you do? Like, well, the encyclopedias are like 2 years old now at the library, but they might have some. Like, you couldn't look anything up. You had to rely on print media, which was like once, like, you know, it was just such a ridiculous. We were at the mercy of media before the internet. Oh, hello.
You got any crazy stories? Like anything? Like absolutely? Did a TV fall on your head and make you gay, or did you yell at any celebrities? Did you watch a murder happen by lunch for a guy that had been murdered?
I can tell you the story of my son and the emergency wine.
You've already got me.
Isn't L wine emergency wine?
No,
you've already got me. I'm already hooked. Emergency wine. I like it.
So this is about a year or two after I got a divorce from my husband, and I was living in a townhouse. We were within walking distance of each other, right? Because we wanted to stay close so the kids, because they were still in grade 8 or grade 9 and grade 7 or something like that, and so we wanted them to be close to each other, so if they needed us they could just go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
My son, my oldest son, is in high school, and he was in the long black jacket phase where he had the fedora and the black long oilskin coat. Do you remember those? He totally went through that. So he's wearing this jacket. That was his thing. And I was drinking at home, and the kids were at their dad's for the week because we had a week-to-week schedule. And so the kids are at their dad's, and my ex-husband had started making wine at that point. He told me if I ever needed wine, I could just call him and he'd bring me wine. I was like, oh, that's a good deal.
Sweet.
So,
the best Santa Claus ever.
Best friend. That's a friend right there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
sure, it tastes like raisins, but whatever.
So I'm at home with my girlfriends, and we had like 2 or 3 bottles of wine that night. We decided we wanted to keep drinking, and so I texted, and we were out, and it was like 9:00. Liquor store was closed. So we texted my ex-husband and said, hey, we need emergency wine. Can you send 2 bottles? Thinking he wouldn't do it. But he sends my then grade 9 son with 2 bottles of wine to my house because we were within walking distance, right? Well, he wears his long black jacket with the fedora, and he's walking along the sidewalk, right? And the cops stop him. It's like 9 or 10 at night, right? And he's in grade 9 wearing this jacket and the hat, and the cops pull up and they're like, what are you doing? He goes, hold on a minute. Hold on.
Hey, Columbine.
Right? He's like, hold on. Before you freak out, I have 2 bottles of wine with me, but I'm walking them from my dad's house to my mom's house because my mom's out of wine. It's emergency wine. And the cops, of course, look at him and go, all right, kid, sure, you're bringing your mom 2 bottles of wine from your dad's house. I'm sure that's a good relationship. And he's like, no, seriously. And he's like, okay, we'll drive you there, thinking he's going to get busted or whatever, right? So the cops pull up to my house, and they walk up, and they're right behind him. And he's got the jacket and the hat, and he walks up and he knocks on my door. And I open the door, and I'm like, Tim, where's my emergency wine?
Wait, what are the cops doing?
I didn't even see them. I was 2 bottles of wine in at that point. I didn't even see cops behind him. I said, Tim, give me my wine. He's like, yeah, Mom, no problem. Here's your wine. Passes me over the 2 bottles. I hand them back. I bring him in the house. The cops left. They didn't even stop to talk to me. I was like hammered. Yeah. So it was great.
Well, he told the truth. Yo, if you tell the cops the truth, even if it incriminates you in something like minor, oftentimes they'll just
for
let you
sure.
go.
Well, that and his dad was a cop, so like we had no respect at all. So
That's barely a story now that I know his dad.
right?
Oh, your old man's a cop? Just let him go with the cocaine and everything else.
Well, I
Don't
mean,
worry
we
about it.
didn't know that at the time, but still, like
Oh, there's a body? I didn't see no body. You see anybody?
Top it off with a bit of H. We got it in the trunk.
Stellar parenting skills. That's all.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a run in as a kid with a cop once, and it was.
I got to check my dog because he's whining. Sorry, give me a
No
second.
problem.
I had it was probably like 12, and when you just do like you're with a bad influence friend, and I've always tried to find this guy even into my old age now. I'll look on social media to try and find him every once in a while.
Right.
So Ryan Fairman, if you're still alive, I want you to call me because we need to talk about some things about our childhood because we had some of the best stories. We let shit on fire that became catastrophes and by accident. And
of course,
this was just one of those random. It was so dumb. We're walking. He lived in a survey behind. My mom and I lived in an apartment building, and the survey was behind the apartments. So we were walking back from wherever the fuck we are. It was the middle of winter. And for some reason, because you're 12 and you're stupid, I decided it was a good idea. I was making a joke along the lines of I'm going to take this big chunk of snow, about, the size of, about that big, and I'm going to jam it into this mailbox, and I'm going to send it back to the North Pole because I'm tired of the snow. It was just a funny joke, like a one-off. Well, what we didn't notice was the cop sitting in the parking lot across the road watching me commit a federal offense by jamming snow into a fucking mailbox, right? But you're 12, you don't know.
No.
So the cop wheels out, comes over. Ryan Fairman books it, just books it. I'm like, now I'm on my own. So I'm like, don't run. He's just gonna catch you. You're gonna be in even more trouble. So the cop's like, what are you doing? And you're right. Honesty is the best policy. I looked at the cop and I flat out said, being an idiot, being stupid. And he let me go. So I always thought that was kind of funny. So
admitting it is the first step.
That was kind of it, right? Yeah. What are you doing? Being a fucking idiot, sir. Sorry.
Tim had a couple run-ins with the cops when he was that. I think it was the oilskin coat, to be honest. But
no shit.
Yeah, right. So
it was a little sensitive probably around the same time, or
maybe. Well, a couple years after, but they were still keeping their eye on kids like that, right? So
imagine
he was walking from his friend's house, like we lived in this where all these courts would go in, and there was a park in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And he was at his friend's house, a couple courts over, and he was walking through the park to come home, and the police helicopter in Durham Region flew over, and like put the spotlight on him for a minute, and watched him walk for a bit, and then started to fly away. Well, he thought it would be really funny if, as soon as the spotlight came off him, he started to run as fast as he could run, like just along the path towards the house, right?
Yeah.
As soon as the spotlight went back on him, he stopped and he kept walking, right? He did that all the way home, and they followed him all the way home. Welcome to fun in Durham Region when you're like in high school, right?
I was just gonna say, welcome to being a white kid, being able to fuck around like that,
Yeah.
When somebody says, "What do you mean? Well, I don't have white privilege." Yeah, well, guess what? If you can fuck around with cops, you've got white privilege.
Oh yeah, and he took advantage of it every second that he could. Every second. Yeah.
That's so funny. What about you, Douglas? Any police interaction? It's got to be something.
A couple of ones that were interesting. But weird stuff. Like for example, one time I got picked up at a bar and we were on our way home, and we got stopped at a sort of ride check, I guess. Yeah. And they asked him if he had been drinking, and he said, well, a little bit, and he blew a warning. Then they turned around and said, well, do you drive? He says, well, I don't have a license, but I mean, I know how to drive ish. And he turned around and said, looked at him and says, switch seats. I was like, yeah, but like when I like get like 30 meters ahead and get stopped again, you gonna call somebody to say it's okay?
Yeah.
That happened to my mom.
Yeah.
Back in the day, my dad was hammered, couldn't drive home, so the cop told my mom to switch spots. She didn't have her license at all.
No, yeah, didn't have my license. He asked how far away do you live?
She had to
It says
drive him
about
home. Yeah,
about half a kilometer, and said, yeah, okay, you drive.
I mean,
that's the
I
old
wasn't
days.
born then, so that was definitely in the 70s at some point. So
What's so they just did they follow you there, Douglas? Or
No, they just let us go.
Really, eh?
Yeah,
yeah. It used to be the
The
day.
other
Back
one-
in the day, they used to either if you weren't too far, they let you go, or sometimes they'd even escort you. Just follow my taillights and you'll make it home. And it was so dumb, right? Like it was like what we know now and what we apparently didn't know then.
that could have been my grandma, but I'm pretty sure it was my mom.
And then when I was learning to drive, I had my learner's permit, and I had access to a car because my friend, best friend, kind of lost access because he got caught drinking, and he had the thing that he had to blow into installed.
The lock.
Yep.
Like oh shit, eh?
Yeah. So it's like
that's a veteran.
Well, no, maybe he didn't have it yet. That's why. So he sent me out to do an errand because the car needs to be driven every now and then, right? Because things go bad.
Yeah, it's going to seize. For sure.
So he sends me out to the Walmart, which is like all the way across town, and I'm doing great in there, and I park and we buy the things, and I'm coming back, and we drive out of the parking lot, and no sooner am I out of the parking lot, there's like a cop car behind me, and the lights are gone like this, and I'm like looking at my friend Shane next to see me and go like, I haven't had a chance to do anything yet. Like,
that's so funny.
What'd I do? So I pull over. Like I said, that they just check the license and whatnot, and it's fine. You know, they see that I have somebody next to. I guess I didn't look like a near 55-year-old white man.
No, maybe.
Driving a car that shouldn't have been on the road. So I guess that's probably why they stopped me.
Yeah, right.
Especially at that time, because I was almost 20 years ago. So it was like, I just like pulled over and just looked at everything. But like, that was like really scary. I'm sitting there like this. And I just like pulled out. I just literally pulled out of the Walmart and drove half a block and was pulling out by the side of the road. And I was like, oh my God. They're doing everything to cause me to have an accident. I said, what I do?
It's funny. It's one of those stories. I don't tell it often, but I guess I'll wait for James because he'll like this one. Now that we're talking about police, it's triggered the memory because I don't know if I try to repress it, but do you remember the name James Kopp?
I kind of know that name. I don't know why.
Okay, the anti-abortion sniper.
That's why I know the name. Okay.
Remember the guy that was killing abortion doctors in Buffalo and Hamilton, Ancaster, that guy back in the day? I've got a pretty nutty story where I was mistaken for James Kopp once in a McMaster University emergency fucking parking lot, and it was during the heat of things. Somebody got a little too rambunctious and little too Nancy Drew by looking at me, and thought I was taking pictures of license plates of doctors' cars.
Yeah.
When meanwhile I was waiting, my brother was inside. This is back when they still served adults at that. It's now a kids' hospital. Mm-hmm. And it was a good one. I'll wait for James to come back to finish it though. But it ended up with every single kind of police vehicle and media outlet showing up, and a police officer's gun pointed directly against the base of my skull. Yeah, it was.
That's not cool.
Thankfully, there was a police officer there that knew who I was. That was probably the only thing that saved me. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was released immediately once they realized it was a case of mistaken identity, and the lady was just a bit crazy. But yeah, it was. It made the paper. It made the news. Yeah, it was pretty good. So it was nuts. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, it's the only time I've actually been in trouble, but I wasn't even really in trouble. It's the only time I was actually in trouble with the police, which is kind of surprising. I should have probably been in a lot of trouble with the police a lot of times. But I was just lucky, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they can tell dumb kids. Like, I mean, they dealt with my kid multiple times. So,
yeah.
Look at his mom, right? Can't help it.
Can't pick your parents.
Right. So he was walking. I have so many stories about my oldest son. He was walking home from the Whitby Mall
right
once.
back.
Yeah, no problem. I'll tell Douglas.
Douglas is in charge.
Oh, you're in charge. So my son was walking home from the Whitby Mall, and he's walking. It's Highway 2, right?
Right.
The cops pulled him over because he had wires sticking out of his backpack.
Okay.
And he, of course, I think it was more to do with his oilskin jacket. He only wore that for like a year and then got tired of the harassment for it. But anyway, so the cop pulls in front of him and starts like talking to him and is really stern. But his dad's a cop, so he has no like concept that he should show this person like respect or like that he has authority over him or anything like that. And he looks at him and goes, "What do you think? I have a bomb in my backpack?" And he reaches in his back, his like headphones, and like he's pulling stuff out of his backpack. So, like, there's nothing in here that's gonna blow up, right? And the cop is like reaching for his gun and not sure what to do. And I'm like, Tim, like, I know your dad's a cop, but stop it.
Do not put your hand in the bag.
What is wrong with you, child? I sent him to his dad's with a note that week that said something along the lines of, "Please talk to your son."
Exactly. You need to teach him stuff.
Right?
Oh God, just another dude acting like my dad.
Right? Like that child has so many stories. So many stories. My favorite one though is still the time he got out of detention because he told the administrators at the school that he had to come home and watch his little sister.
Okay.
I only have 2 children. I have 2 boys. They're both in high school. He told the administrator that his baby sister needed him to come home because he needed to take care of his baby sister. And I was like, you really took a lot out of drama class, Tim. A lot.
Wow.
And I didn't find out till parent-teacher night. So, you go to parent-teacher night. So how's Tim doing? Oh, well, he has had some trouble and we've had to give him a in class or to take care of your daughter. My daughter? My daughter? I don't have a daughter.
Then you hear the teacher go, "That little fucker."
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
Oh. Well, folks, we lost James.
Oh.
James has a bit of a family emergency on his hands. We got a message in the background. So, you know what that means? That story, I'm saving it for next Casual Friday.
Okay. Can I tell my joke before we go?
Of course we can.
Okay. So, why are stegosauruses so good at volleyball?
This better be dirty. Like, it better be like fucking horrible because you can't top Spenny's joke.
No, God, no, I can't top Spenny's joke. I'm not even trying.
Okay.
Why are stegosauruses so good at volleyball?
It's got to be something about the spikes.
Because they can spike the ball. You're welcome. This is why I come on here to tell you my bad jokes.
Where's the hook? Where's the hook, Douglas? Did you bring the hook, Douglas?
I'm all out of hooks. I'm all out of hooks.
All out of hooks.
Shantae, she
You're
stays.
welcome. You're welcome, everyone. My job is done.
I don't have.
That was bad.
I don't have the closing. I don't have any of James's assets, so we're gonna have to wing this, Douglas.
Oh, all right. Am I leaving?
Yeah, no, we're gonna close it up. We're gonna shutter the show.
Yeah?
It's
okay.
Well, unless you wanna stick around, Douglas. Do you have? Throw it out. I don't care if you guys want to stay. I just feel bad that we're kind of hijacking the show, but
Oh no,
I'll stick around. I don't care.
I've got to go find people and have drinks. I'm in Markham, right? So at a union event. So I stopped in.
I have to go and find people and drink. You're my spirit animal. That's exactly what I would do if I was at a union event in Markham too.
Let me tell you.
Nothing else to do in fucking Markham.
This hotel is beautiful, by the way. I've got like a living room and like a bedroom that are separate from each other. I've never been in anything so fancy. Yeah.
See, this is where your union dues go, folks. See what happens?
All the work I do, I get a fancy suite.
Hey.
Very sweet. It was good to see you. Good luck. How long are you in town?
I'm going home tomorrow. So I drive, but I'll be back next month. I'm in Toronto every month until like August.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You're in a busy negotiation period or?
Yeah, there are lots of negotiations, lots of council meetings. We have 2 conventions going on. So we have convention prep on top of it. So very busy time for us right now.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm with PSAC, right? So very busy time. For sure.
Absolutely. Wow. It was good to see you.
It's good to see you,
I hope you find friends and emergency wine. And
me too.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Do you have something to do tomorrow, or do you get like a free day?
Yeah, we're in session from 9:30 till 3 tomorrow.
9:30.
Yeah, 9:30 till 3.
Oh, in the morning?
Yeah, I know. Listen, and we're all there. It's
fuck that.
Oh, you're not all going to be all there.
Well, okay. Good point.
No, I wouldn't be negotiating anything at that point.
There's lots of coffee going on at that point.
Other than a bottle of Gatorade and maybe an omelet.
Cool shit.
You got to come here and sit for 11 hours in a meeting.
Fuck you!
That's what you get from me. No, thank you.
I've heard that in our meetings.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks. See you later, guys.
Take care.
All right. So now
look at that. It's our show now, I guess.
So good evening and hello, kids. Welcome to our newest venture.
It's the True North Eager Blacballed.
Mr. Otter and Mr. Grizzly had a little meeting a couple of hours ago, and Mr. Otter decided to send Mr. Grizzly away on assignment.
Yeah, that's right. He's renewing our
calling it
passport.
On assignment.
That's right. Poor guy. That's yeah. We know the details, and believe me, I'd rather be here with you guys than having to deal with James is dealing with. So anyway,
yes.
I don't have any of the assets for the show. Like I can play mine. Right.
Today,
it's
the Lens Report.
It's like doing it's like doing graffiti over somebody else's show. Just gonna leave all this shit here.
By the way, when you guys took that week off, did you hear any of my shows at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because nobody responded to my demands.
Oh, I didn't know there was demands.
Oh yes, we had
demands?
taken over the network for a couple of days that week. We 3 to 5, and we said we were only going to give Dean his time slot back if he bribed me with Farm Boy gluten-free chocolate chip ice cream cookies. It's nice time slot you have here.
Yeah, you like that?
Something happened to it. And then nobody sent me anything. What the hell, man?
You're gonna find
I got threatened to get some good chocolate chip ice cream cookies around here.
You said threaten. Okay. I thought that was going somewhere else there for a second.
No. Yeah, who do I got to blow? I know. Yeah. But that would be too easy. I'm gay. I had to go for something else.
It's not even a gay thing. It's just that's the way it hits my ear. As soon as somebody starts a sentence with "Who do I gotta?" It's like, here it goes. Here it goes. Come on, say it.
That's not curling. Who do I gotta blow around here to get a shot in the house?
I actually heard somebody say the word, like emphatically say "blow me" the other day, and I thought, how 80s 90s, like that was such an 80s 90s thing.
It was perfect though.
You're right.
Back then.
Blow me. It's like that was like the worst thing you could say. Now it's like, I don't know. Jordan Peterson makes sense, or invest in crypto. It's like the same amount of vulgarity.
Gonna wash your mouth out with soap.
How do we end this?
Take that back.
How do we end this? We end it with like I need classic TV themes, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we need some suggestions from the viewing audience.
Right? We need a song. How do we close? I don't have anything to close this. I don't know. I'm gonna do it this way. For Blacballed, it was great to have you, Douglas. Thank you for sticking around.
Oh, my
Thank
pleasure.
you for helping me parachute the end of this show.
I'm your ride or die.
That's right, baby. That's my guy. It's my favorite guy in the network. I don't care what anybody says. Fuck Dean. Fuck Locke. Douglas is my guy. That's my forever ever.
Huh?
That's right. So for Blacballed, that's Douglas Connors. I'm Ryan Lindley. And yeah, this is another Casual Friday. Right here on the Crier Media Network. And we'll see you next week.
Got a piece of the pie.
You stopped singing, or you stopped dancing and singing. What happened?
I thought we were gone. Sorry. I thought you had just left me on my own. I thought the show was over. I was like, oh.
We got to do it
I
again.
didn't scratch my butt.
For Blacballed, I'm Ryan Lindley. That's Douglas Connors. Have a great evening.